Greetings, humanity, and welcome to the wild side. I'm Jim, I use he, him pronouns, and this is the Lost Caravan, where they do all manner of things in the TTRPG sphere. Today we are playing The Deep Forest by Mark Diaz Truman and Avery Alder, a map-drawing game in which mythical forest creatures must rebuild their community after a long human occupation. We're playing this as part of On the Wild Side Week, or Wild Week. This week we're playing animal and nature-themed one-shots to celebrate World Wildlife Day, which was last Sunday when we started, but we're continuing all week long. World Wildlife Day was founded about a decade ago by the Convention on the International Trade in Endangered Species of Wild Flora and Fauna and the United Nations General Assembly. It's a time to recognize the unprecedented threats that wildlife populations face, like destruction of their habitats, loss of biodiversity, and climate change. So this week we're supporting Rewild, a charity that benefits conservation programs in their effort to restore self-sustaining ecosystems. So supporting Rewild helps to raise awareness about threats to wildlife, promote sustainable practices, and preserve the natural world and the life that inhabits it. This week we're also supporting Palestine Children's Relief Fund. Relief is something that's desperately needed over there right now, and we've got to keep eyes on that. So donations to our Tiltify will go to both charities, but everything will work toward the same donation goal. This is the third day of Wild Week. We have a goal of $500. Where are we currently with that? I meant to have it up. Last I saw it was like at about 135. Do we know where we are on that? Where's the, do we have a link in here for that? Let me see if I can grab it here. Yes, there we are. So, yeah, it looks like we are currently at 195 out of 500. We are getting very close to the halfway mark. Excellent. Excellent. You can click that link if you would like to donate. For every $10 you donate, you get an entry to win fabulous prizes. We have a Red Wolf Conservation t-shirt, plushie, and baseball caps. We have art commissions from Nikki, Coyote Witch, Jada, and Cyberella, who you can see we'll be spending some quality time with here tonight. And we have TTRPGs from Plus One EXP and Sir Heckalot, who was instrumental in bringing this charity week together and who is just generally awesome. So donate, and you'll have an opportunity to win these things. Let's move that needle for the world's wildlife, please. Before we start tonight's game, though, let's go ahead and introduce our players. Let's see, we're going to go around. I'm going to go left to right on the overlay. Tell us who you are and tell us what your favorite mythological creature is, or just one that you like. And we were going to start with Lonnie. Hello.
Hello. I didn't look at the layout yet, so that was a surprise. Hi, I am Lonnie, or Looney Shaz. Favorite mythological creature. Do Ents count?
Sure.
Cool. I'm doing that because I just love the idea of trees that talk. Because, they can tell stories even when they can't actually have a voice of their own, but at the same time, having them be able to just sit there and be like, hey, pay attention to me, that'd be pretty cool. So.
Yes. The Ents are freaking awesome. Next we are going over to Cyberella. Hello.
Hello, I'm Cyberella. I use she, her. And my favorite mythological creature, I'm going to go with, in general, house spirits. Usually from, the Irish folklore. The ones that, you do nice things and leave out milk and bread for them, or they fuck up your shit.
Fair. Absolutely fair. They are, yeah. Totally, absolutely. House spirits are awesome. And finally, we'll go over to Rob. Hello.
Hello. Thank you, everybody. I'm Rob, RPG theologian. I use he, him pronouns. And favorite mythological creature. This is a tough one. I've been thinking about it since Other Docs sent us the question. But I think I would have to go with classic Slavic Germanic gnome. And that's largely because I grew up with my grandparents who were German and Polish. They had one of those coffee table books that was probably about that thick, about an inch thick, just talking about Germanic gnomes and Slavic gnomes.
Ooh, does that mean you ever watched David the Gnome?
I grew up on David the Gnome. Oh
Yeah.
yes, yeah. So it's that would probably be the tangential reason.
Absolutely. Oh, nice. I vaguely remember David the Gnome. I haven't seen that for a very long time. I think if I had to, at the moment, my favorite mythological creature changes a lot. I do enjoy a good basilisk. I have to say, minotaurs are cool also.
I have to ask. So I just recently learned that basilisk, in some ideas, people think of it as like a big snake, but in some places, it's almost like a big chicken. Which one are you thinking of? I'm curious.
So I always came to So I come out of the. I originally started playing games with D&D, and then I later on in the 90s I started playing Magic the Gathering. So what got cemented in my head was that the chicken is kind of a cockatrice. The chicken version of the basilisk. I mean, it's sort of like basilisk, gorgon, cockatrice all sort of have these interconnected thingies about them. Which is the technical term thingies for variations in mythological lore, and it's something that that's what I always called them. I always called them cockatrices. But why limit one? Why limit one? I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna start. I will start reading aloud from the text because that is in fact what they tell you to do with this game. And this will describe how this game is going to go. As you can see, we've got a blank map up, and we're going to start doing stuff on the map in just momentarily. But here we are. The opening story. For a long time, our monstrous home was occupied by invading humans. Now finally, we've driven them off, and we're left with this, a year of relative peace. One quiet year with which to dismantle their settlements and reclaim our lands. Come winter, a band of heroes will arrive, and we might not survive the encounter. This is when the game will end. But we don't know about that yet. What we know is that right now, in this moment, we monsters have an opportunity for healing and self-discovery in our deep forest, away from human eyes. And let's see, next we talk about the tools, the various tools. You're not going to be able to see all of them immediately, but they'll come into play. Actually, I can probably drag some things out here as well. I'll do that. So we have the we have the map. Let me move that down here. So we have the map, and before playing, we'll establish some of the landscape and the monsters who live here. As we play, we'll update the map to reflect new discoveries, conflicts, and opportunities. Parts of the map will be literal cartography, and other parts will be symbolic. We'll try to avoid writing words on it, though common symbols are fine. Throughout the game, we'll all be responsible for drawing on this map. It's fine to draw poorly or crudely, but we're all going to draw. So now we also have project dice. When a monster starts a project, which is something we'll get into in a little bit, we'll place one of these dice on the map, and we'll be able to use that to note how many weeks it will take to finish that project. And so we'll sort of, just set the die to the number of weeks. Each week, the project ticks down by one, and when a die reaches 0, the project is complete. Now, we also have these little things that are called contempt tokens. They represent any tension and frustration that might arise between our monsters, and we'll get into those as well. We also have on our, you can't see it, but we have in our handouts, we have a summary card that will remind us what to do each week of the Deep Forest and in what order, which is very helpful because that way it's sort of a cheat sheet for us to see where we are and what we're doing. So this uses a deck of cards. This is so anyone who's played The Quiet Year will note that these are fairly identical in mechanics here. But we have 4 decks of cards, one for each season. And the final card, which we will be drawing at some point, is the King of Spades, which is winter. At that point, as it says, the heroes arrive and the game is over. It could come at any time during winter. And so we'll go ahead and recall that. And then it gives instructions for if you are at a physical table. We don't need those. So who are we? We have 2 roles to play in this game. The first is to speak for the members of the community and to care about their individual and collective fates. The second is to dispassionately introduce dilemmas to provoke difficult situations and see what comes of them. The Deep Forest asks us to move in between these two roles. The game will ask us to speak as various monsters in the community and take actions on their behalf. Each time we do so, we'll indicate which monster we are speaking or acting as. For the purposes of this text, a monster can be like either a single monster or a clutch of smaller monsters who live together. When you introduce a monster to the map, remember that it must be able to communicate and act, albeit perhaps unclearly or through some sort of magical means. We shouldn't feel that any single viewpoint belongs to any one of us, and we're invited to speak for different monsters throughout the course of the game. By explicitly calling out the actors and perspectives of the monsters, the Deep Forest allows us to explore how individuals share communities, as well as how individuals cope with the scars of occupation. We'll also be presented with opportunities to introduce issues for the community to deal with in the wake of the occupation. Often it'll happen when we draw cards or use the Uncover Something Old action, again, which we'll be getting into in a moment. And by dispassionately introducing these dilemmas and then returning to our other role as members of the community, we can create tension and make the community's struggles feel real. But moving on, we're going to go to the section of sketching the occupation. We're going to start as we're working this out. So before I get into this, are there any questions about anything that I've said thus far? Cool. Before the game begins, we must establish the nature of the occupation and the lingering impact it had on the area. And we begin with a brief discussion about what the humans built here during the occupation. And they give an example. This can be as simple as someone saying, "How about a military outpost and barracks?" and everyone else nodding in agreement. Once the general nature of the occupation has been decided, we are going to choose a player to draw a notable landmark that the humans left behind. Could be like a lighthouse, a giant statue, an adobe church. It's best to keep this drawing small and simple, and then next the remaining players demarcate the borders of the occupation, and that might mean drawing several rectangles to represent fenced-in fields or a wide trapezoidal shape to represent a human village. These borders aren't an exhaustive inventory of the occupation, but rather a starting point for understanding its impact. So, what kind of occupation do we want to have been here? What are we thinking?
I think like just like a hamlet. Like it was just a regular kind of town.
Yeah, maybe a hamlet with some additional, like, just close by gardens and farmland as well. You think?
Yeah.
That sounds good. And keep in mind that any of this, even if all of this that we're talking about now doesn't make it onto the map immediately, we can still understand that it's kind of there. This is all very conceptual. So, do we like a hamlet? We enjoy our Princes of Denmark. Okay, that's the last time I'll make that joke during this lifetime. That was probably a lie. We need to pick one person to introduce a landmark, some notable landmark that the humans left behind. One thing that would have meant something to the humans that they left here. So who would like to draw a landmark?
I guess since everyone's clamoring, it's me.
Yeah.
Okay.
Hey, don't all speak at once. Go ahead.
What would be a good landmark for this? Let's see, in a hamlet. I'm gonna go with the church. Just a little chapel. Let's see. I'm gonna put it, I guess, in this little corner over here. Oh, let's see how well I can draw with a mouse. Oh no, I fucked up. It's not a good building.
That's fine.
You're going to be seeing much worse drawings from me, so this is beautiful in comparison.
Well, those I was very zoomed out, which was maybe a terrible life choice in this matter. So that's a thing. Let me just get rid of some of the stuff that makes me feel bad about my own life. There we go. Listen, I'm the one
Oh,
who's
no.
sitting here. I'm the one who's sitting here with my
Like half of
username.
it.
My username is Cyberella Draws, okay? I have made a bed that I need to lay in, and I have to make sure that the bed has like at least nice sheets, okay? This is what I've done to myself. All right, there we go.
Listen,
My little church.
you are fantastic at drawing,
Not
but
this
Roll20
amount.
isn't meant to be drawn in, apparently.
All right, there's my little
Not with any
chapel.
great detail.
Yep. It looks great
Awesome.
either
Awesome.
way.
So now the rest of us should fill in a few other things that sort of will demarcate the borders of the occupation, whatever's on the most extreme edge of this hamlet. And that doesn't necessarily mean you've got to go like all the way down here, because we can leave room for open forest. That's absolutely fine. Just the understanding that the humans have been all around here. Who'd like to draw something next?
I mean, I think the idea of a garden being kind of closer to the outskirts would be nice. But I don't know if that was kind of RPG Theologian's idea, so I don't know if you want to draw it.
I'd be happy to draw that. I'm just debating where, because I was
How
thinking
far
a
out?
few other things. Maybe if the church is in one corner, because I was also thinking something like, since it's a small hamlet, they'd probably have a small constabulary or probably not an inn, but some homes.
Oh yeah.
I'd say probably see if I can see that I want to make sure that I'm doing it right. Make sure it appears. There. Trying to figure out actually how to draw on here. Oh, I'm
Oh, something's
using.
appearing.
That's why I'm using the wrong tool.
Ah. Yeah, you just go
Yeah,
up
there
there
we
and
go.
you can click freehand on the paintbrush. And
Yep.
do freehand.
Exactly. Yeah. That's why I was using the
Yeah.
wrong tool. My apologies, everyone. I want to say it's probably farthest out so that we leave room for the forest. Maybe there is garden.
Cool.
Let's see. First line was the best you're gonna get, probably. Probably
Yeah,
just
no
this
worries.
and maybe some stalks of corn.
I'm wondering
This is
if we
gonna.
can cheat if there's like a snap tool for like lines.
Yeah, that's. I was thinking that too.
Yeah,
This is.
there's some things that let you draw boxes or
Oh
like
yeah, there's a
rectangles or ellipses.
rectangle.
Yeah.
Yeah. We'll leave this as the.
And the pen line is the thing where you can do the draw like a straight line, I believe. If I recall correctly. Lonnie, do you have an idea of what you want to draw?
I was actually thinking of like a small fountain, probably being like in the center. Like nothing
Yeah.
extravagant, but just something that kind of maybe the animals we end up adding to this world think it's like a bath. I think that'll be oh.
Oh yeah.
Now we know what happened to the humans.
So then
Yep.
leftover feelings about the humans being here. My apologies. I couldn't
Yeah,
resist.
no, that's just graffiti that we see somewhere since the humans have left.
Ooh, that's an awful circle. Okay, let's see. I'm gonna do a little like thing in the center with some water spraying out of it. It kind of looks like a plant on a rug, but
Yeah.
here, I'm gonna color in some blue.
Sure, awesome. And I think I'm gonna draw like a little border wall that that the humans decided they wanted to put up with a little guardhouse. We're talking like a very just sort of short Hadrian's Wall type thing, so it actually does not keep anything out. It was just sort of like they decided we want something along our path, along the outside path that we're going to make to connect to the other cities, and then they left, which cool. The wall is probably not even this straight. I'm going to switch to the thing for the other one. And I'm going to put a little guardhouse. Put a little guardhouse right kind of in the middle there. It's a little thing on top of it. There we go. An abandoned guardhouse. Okay. Well, we've got our borders sort of set up here. So now we introduce monsters. So at this point, each of us should introduce one monster, or one mythical creature. And you tell us briefly about its nest or dwelling. When we introduce our monster and its home, we then sketch our contribution onto the map. These sketches should be rough and simple, leaving lots of blank space for additions during play. We each introduce one monster this way, but it is understood that there are additional monsters in our community, perhaps a half dozen, that are as yet unnamed. As an example, a group might decide to set their game in the shadow of a wizard's tower, and the first player introduces a monster. It's like, all right, a clutch of kobolds, the Aidu, have taken up residence in the old stables. The next player adds, a hill ogre, Tezog, lives in the quarry a short distance away from the tower. The third player adds, a clutch of tree sprites called the Wisps have carved out several trees at the edge of the clearing as a nest. And the final player says, the ball of radiant light has taken up residence at the bottom floor of the tower. It communicates with feelings, but the other monsters call it soul. As details are added, the players draw them on the map, and we record the names on over to the right here, so we can go in and start and type names as we come up with them. And so everyone should introduce a monster and add it to the map before proceeding. So who would like to add a creature here? And I'm thinking again, these are very sort of mythical creatures of the forest that we have going on here. What do we think?
So the first idea that came to mind isn't mythical, but it's a regular animal that we could make larger
Oh,
to
yeah.
be able to, because I was thinking of a hermit crab, because I like the idea of like, if we're basically reclaiming this land for the for the monsters and the animals and everything, I want that hermit crab to have something from the area be its shell.
I love that so much.
It's like sticking out of a barrel.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I got like a barrel for home.
I was thinking
the little ones.
I was thinking literally just like draw like the eyes and legs, and we could decide what his actual like house is on top of him, so we couldn't see.
Yes.
That could be something we could build on.
I love it.
Cute.
So okay. I'm gonna draw him close to the fountain, I think, though.
The baby ones are using teacups.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Now I need to go. Okay. Now I need to think of how to draw a bunch of little hermit crabs. Okay. I'm gonna draw.
Scale things down. I wonder, because like.
Yeah, I drew the fountain bigger than the chapel.
Oh. Well, yeah, you can always grab it and reduce it in size if you want to. Which is really cool.
Yeah, because that'd be a lot easier, because then you could draw it big and just squish it down.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Mm-hmm. Which you just sort of select, sort of click and drag to select stuff, and then it should give you the corners. You can change the size of a thing. So, for example, like I can make the guardhouse really big or make it really small.
Well, don't let me make my church big.
No.
Doesn't like me.
Oh no. I don't know how to get rid of things.
Oh, select it with the little arrow and then delete.
Cool. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I figured that out when I deleted half my church.
Yep, that'll do it. All right, let's see.
I'm figuring things out.
I think he's gonna kind of look like a crab. Y'all are gonna have to bear with me, but I think we basically just see his legs and his eyes,
yes.
And then we'll be able to figure out what his thing. Oh, he's little,
Oh,
googly eyes.
Googly eyes.
And then I'm just gonna have a bunch of tiny little ones all around him.
Awesome.
I wonder, can you click it and then copy and paste it?
Ooh, that
way
sounds
you could
like...
save time. I wonder if we can do that.
You should be able to, yeah.
No.
Only thing is that would I have to like draw a box around all of it, and then Oh my gosh.
Yeah, you
No.
should be able to.
Okay, let's see.
I feel like we
Paste.
found the thing that the game that Roll20 was not made for.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like, babies, I wasn't made for this. This wasn't my system.
I don't know. There's no way to copy to
Well,
paste it.
you can,
okay.
you can do Control C and then move the mouse
I
in the
tried
control
that.
key.
Curious.
I like highlighted the whole
Might-
thing.
We
Command.
technically
Check
might
the
not
thing.
have. I was gonna say we technically might not have permissions for it because we're not the game master.
Oh, somebody just
Ah.
copy pasted
Oh.
something.
Yes, that was I.
Okay.
There we
Cool.
go.
There we
Like,
go.
All right.
Yeah, I think that's why I couldn't
You can
change
have
the
it.
size of my. I think that's why I couldn't change the size of my church. Is we don't have the permissions for that. So,
Okay.
Yeah, we can adjust
Oh, okay.
it, move it around a
Oh.
little bit. But
Oof.
so Doc, you have the power here.
I should make everyone GMs. Let me know. Is that okay?
That looks much better compared to the size of the fountain that I drew. Yeah.
Mhm.
Need to figure out how to empower everyone. But
it's like Thunder. You feel like Thundercats, right?
yeah,
Or no, not Thundercats. He-Man. You have the power.
something along those lines. I will actually. I remember how. I have remembered how to do it, and I will be taking care of that in the background while we're adding more monsters on.
Cool.
Who wants
And
to go
then,
next? Sorry, go ahead.
do we want to have a name as well?
Yeah,
Yeah,
we should have a name
absolutely.
for them.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm gonna. Did we decide on a size? Do you remember? I know you were playing around with sizes for the font.
Oh, I was thinking about probably if we're going with like Arial, then I was thinking about probably size 40
40.
is probably going to be the most visible. Let me double check. You could probably go. I mean, you could go probably even 32.
Okay.
Yeah, 32 actually looks like it'll probably be best. Let me
Oh.
delete those.
There we go. Cool. That's Rem. And Rem's little pod of little babies.
Ooh, excellent.
All right, I have an idea. It's okay with me going
Mhm.
next. I want to go with something called a. Oh man, I gotta push this. A cuddle. A cloodle. Cloodle. It is a dog. It is a dog with a fiery blue head. I want one of them. And I think it's going to be. I think because it's supposed to be a little bit more of a sinister thing, it's gonna live by the church.
Nice.
So I'm gonna go with that. I'm gonna see how well I can draw with the mouse a dog with a flaming head, and because I don't have the permissions, I'm gonna ask that you make it smaller once I draw it, because it's gonna be.
I have just promoted everyone to GM, so hopefully you should be able
Yeah.
to now.
All right, let me test it. Then.
Oh. I thought this was supposed to be a GM-less game, not a oops, all GMs game.
When everyone's GM, no one is.
It's chaos runs loose.
Ah!
There we go. Oh man!
wow.
Looking at this, one would think that I don't own a dog. I do own a dog.
Nice.
All right, let's see. Gotta give it a flaming fire head. All right. Let's see about.
Awesome.
Can I shrink?
Love it.
Oh no, I can spin you. I can move you, but I can't shrink it.
You should be able to like highlight both things and then grab the corner and like at this point.
It doesn't want me to. If you could do that for
How
me,
dare
just
you.
shrink him.
Yeah, sure.
Shrink him down. Let's see. What am I gonna name this little guy? I'm gonna name him Kit and Caboodle because it's a coodle.
Oh my god. It's adorable. Let me see if I can grab it without grabbing the church. How big? How big you want?
I think they're regular dog size, so you can just shrink him down.
Okay.
There he
About,
is.
there you go.
Yeah, thank you.
Cool. Robbie, you got an idea for?
Yeah, I've been thinking about I've been trying. That is something I've been thinking about. I want to say that there is. I like the idea. So I like the little guys: goblins, gnomes, kobolds.
Mhm.
So I feel like there is a clan of goblins because I may or may not, I can neither confirm nor deny, be playing a goblin later this week in another game. So I feel like there's maybe just a small family of goblins that have made their way over to the field. And maybe they're, so that they're kind of tending the farm.
Ooh,
See if
interesting.
I
Well, we'll be
can.
talking about
Yeah.
stuff like
Yes.
that
Yeah.
soon. But yeah, go
So
ahead.
I'm planning ahead. Yeah.
Yeah.
See if I can see how badly this goes. And I love the idea of long-nosed goblins. It looks more like a penguin, but
It's fine.
called yeah. So, and then maybe I feel like maybe it's a mother goblin. Let me give her some ears.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry.
Sure.
A mother goblin and her two children. Survivors of the occupation. So I don't know if let me see if it'll allow me to copy and paste her. Yeah, I think I'm running into the same problem. It's
Hmm. You might also need to reload it to get the powers. I'm not sure.
maybe
Oh
let
yeah, good
me
point. I didn't think about
yeah,
that.
let me try I'm gonna reboot it. Reboot roll 20.
Yeah.
Let's see. All right, roll 20. Do you let me wreak havoc? It lets me wreak havoc.
Yes, I
Very
see. I've
Excellent.
got
cool.
new. Yep, I've got new.
Problem existed between chair and keyboard. The problem was
There
me.
we go. So,
I am going to I am going to make a a burrow of badger people. Um which I will place out here. And figure out what this clutch of goblins calls themselves if they have a name.
yep,
I'm
yep, will
gonna
do.
outside the walls somewhere, near the walls. I'm gonna say we have some badger folk. The important thing is that they have the pointed nose. That's the important factor. Um, and these sort of and they sort of have a sort of this is a very badly drawn little sort of little sort of mound in which or the which is the entrance to where they live. And let's see. And I think we're these are the basically these are like sort of the badgers of the invite you around for tea variety looking anyway as far as they appear. Um, and I think they I think to that end they can probably speak. Um, but but they do not wear clothes. I am drawing the line at that. Um,
You just keep talking about this Adlac guy like ad nauseum.
how dare they? Yeah, so
Yeah, so
I'm
I
gonna
went with
call them
Ogla, Greg, and
excellent.
Faye. Ogla is the mother, Breg and Faye are the two children.
Excellent.
As you can see, one is younger, one is smaller. One of the children is smaller than the other, so she's younger goblin.
Excellent. Excellent. Oh, yeah, I think I'm going to call the Badger people the Cherik. If that makes sense. Does it? Who knows? I'm just grabbing names from Fantasy Name Generator and twisting them into strange things. I have no idea what anything. Okay, so now we've got our initial monsters on the board here. As we're going through here. So now we talk about adoptions and taboos as we're getting into it. Next, we declare an important remnant left behind by the humans, something which we might have either adopted as our own or declared taboo after the occupation. Some examples are aqueducts and canals, a dark orb of farsight, a human memorial, domesticated animals, crops and fields. It can be a thing or it can be a practice. Identifying a human remnant makes it both alien and important. If you pick alloy metals, you're indicating that monsters didn't have access to that technology before the occupation, and that there might be some usefulness for that remnant now. As a group, we now choose one of those remnants to be an adoption. So we'll do that. But first, before we decide what's an adoption, we're just going to come up with the remnants. So we each come up with one thing that the humans left behind, that we are interacting with either as a thing we're adopting or as a thing that we are declaring taboo. But we're not deciding whether they're adopted or taboo yet. Just come up with a thing. Who has a thing they would like to put in here as a remnant?
I have one.
Yes.
Cats.
Ooh.
We were talking earlier about some barn cats, right? So
this means that
behind.
So if it's just cats, then that means there were no cats in this forest beforehand.
Invasive species.
Which we could. So do we want to say that, or do we want to say like just domesticated cats, like pet cats?
Oh, domesticated, I would say.
Okay. All right. Domesticated cats. All right. Who else has an idea?
Well, since I put in the garden and was thinking about farmland, I want to say agriculture. You know, the intentional cultivation of food would be one remnant.
Agriculture. Alrighty. Lonnie, do you have a thought?
Kind of. My brain was empty for a little bit there, but I was thinking like a washboard. Like no clue what it would even be, just like makes fun sounds. Honestly, the cats would probably love it.
So like the remnant that they left behind, like washboards. Okay. Cool. See, using a thing on which to. Yeah. Anyway.
Yeah, like what do you have to clean? You just go in a river.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair.
I mean, I'm like pretty much certain that probably like 70% of our denizens do not wear clothing.
Probably.
Apparently, my little tiny hermit crabs are gonna have like teacups for clothes, so don't need a washboard for that. For a house, yeah. Sorry, that's their home. They live there.
Yes. I'm trying to think of something that would work, and there are any number of possible things. I'm trying to avoid doing ritual summoning because I did that before in the previous game.
But if that's where your soul goes to,
Yeah,
your soul goes to ritual summons.
And it would add some diversity because we all chose like very material things, and then you're just like.
I'm gonna say instead. I'm gonna say weather magic.
Interesting. Okay.
Is a thing. Yeah. All right. So we need to pick one of these as something that we have adopted, and then the other 3 are going to be taboo.
Not gonna lie, kind of love the idea of of adopting weather magic and all of us wanting to fight over what weather we want.
I agree. I like that.
Yeah, I'm cool with that. Adopting weather magic.
We're gonna... Okay, we're adopting
I don't know how
weather
we're
magic.
gonna. I don't know how
Yeah.
we're gonna do the spells, but like,
Oh.
I figured out how to make it rain.
Oh, that's
or
fine.
like, you know.
Hey, luckily we have the goblins, and they at least have opposable thumbs. So
Yeah.
that is
That's
a
true.
step towards
Yeah.
getting it right.
So identifying a human remnant makes it both alien and important. If you pick alloy metals, you're indicating monsters didn't have access to that before. And so the weather magic gets listed under adoption, and I must now draw something on the map to represent how the monsters have adopted that human remnant into their lives. The other remnants get listed as taboos, and the players who called them out will each draw something on the map to represent the community's fear and distrust of those resources. And you can remember that symbols and symbolic representations are fine, but words should be avoided. So I'm gonna, and you folks can commence drawing also while I'm drawing this.
Okay. I'm gonna put my cat somewhere. I'll put my cats down here.
Domesticated cats are taboo.
Yeah.
Let's see,
I mean,
weather
to be
magic.
fair, they are an invasive species usually, so it kind of
Yeah.
makes sense.
That's true. I'm now remembering Australia.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Okay. So I'm going to put like a big sort of rock here. Big sort of. Actually, no. I know what I want it to be.
Okay, I'm adding a little barn down here, and this is where the cats all live. They've been relegated to the barn, so no one else goes to the barn. It's cat territory.
We have this stone archway that they created. And I'm going to draw a little lightning bolt inside. Something similar. And let me add some orange to it so that it is visible. There we go. That's good enough.
I feel like I keep revolving around the fountain, but I'm going to imagine that the washboard is just at the bottom of the fountain. Like, just completely forgotten
Nice.
about, don't understand the purpose of this.
Excellent.
And I am drawing a fence that was built around the garden to indicate
Yeah.
that they're staying away.
Nice.
So,
Awesome,
yeah.
awesome.
And now I have a cat.
Okay. Yay. Okay, so we have...
Yes, Toshi. Yeah.
There you go.
That's true. Actually, I mean, that is a being adjacent to the community or in the community, so you can name the cat if you want and put it under the list of names.
Speaking of,
Speaking of, yeah.
Speaking of,
he's like, no, you can't get rid of me.
I'm
So-
not taboo. I'm
Live
Toshi.
here.
Different.
so the basic unit of play in the Deep Forest is the week. Each week is a turn taken by one player, with play proceeding. It says clockwise around the table. I think what we'll do is we'll just go in the order on the overlay, if folks are all right with that. Which I think would be. I'm thinking if it's all right, I'll go first by way of demonstration. So it'll be me and Lonnie and Cyberella and Rob. Is that okay?
Mhm. Yeah,
All right.
that sounds good to me. Okay with
As our
everybody.
cycle. And during each week, the active player draws a card, reads the relevant text aloud, and resolves it. And we follow all bold text. The project dice are reduced by 1, and any finished projects are updated. And the active player chooses and takes an action, which can be uncover something old, agree on something, or start a project. And I'm going to start skimming a little bit so that we can get into this. Let me go ahead and give this one more shuffle before I draw a card. let's see. Most cards have two options to choose from, separated by an or divider, and we pick the option we find the most interesting and fitting, and read the text aloud. The card might ask you a question, bring bad news, or create new opportunities. Many cards have specific rules attached to them, which are written in bold text. If you drew the card, it's up to you to make the decisions that the card requires. And so, like, I've got Spring, the 6 of Spring. You see a good omen, what is it? Or you see a bad omen, what is it? If the card asks you a question, think about whether your answer could be represented on the map somehow. If it fits, update the map to reflect this new information. For example, if the card asks you about the feeding habits of the community, you might end up drawing a hunting ground in the nearby woods. Okay, so let's see. We can start with a good omen or a bad omen. I'm going to start, I think, with a good omen because we'll have plenty of bad things toward the end of the game. Let's see. I think that... let's see, something that is happening, I think, in something that's happening in nature that we're suddenly seeing. There's a particular type of plant that's growing again that had stopped growing before the humans, or they stopped growing when the humans arrived. They basically they cut them all down. I'm gonna call it. It's a type of you know what? I'm gonna draw a fruit tree. I'm gonna draw a fruit tree. It's gonna be sort of a sapling right now, and hopefully it will have a chance to grow taller. Yeah. Let me go ahead and draw that in. And that is the thing. I'm going to draw it down here. As I cannot draw trees, but this is starting to look, if I put any more branches on it, it's going to look more eldritch. So let me draw a little bit of greenery on it. This gorgeous fruit tree is starting to grow, and perhaps has not borne fruit yet, but it's not there. Also, I see by chat that we have hit the first incentive, which is freaking awesome. Holy crap, we're at 325 out of 500. Thank you all so much. That is wonderful. Is that the Planet Zoo stream? I think that's the Planet Zoo stream, unless I'm looking at the wrong thing, which I easily could be, because that happens to me all the time. But that is excellent. Yay! Cool. Beautiful. So yes, yay! That is wonderful. I am looking forward to that. That's a game I've actually played before. So we have our little fruit tree. I've answered the question, and we're going to go and moving on to the next bit. So you have three choices when you are doing this. It's when you have actions. We don't have any projects, so we don't have any project dice to count down. So that would normally happen right now. So next we have actions, and I can do uncover something old, which is to introduce and draw something from before or amidst the occupation. Agree on something, which is kind of like having a conversation. We pick an animal, we have a conversation of sorts. You don't really, you just state your opinion, everyone gets to agree or narrate silence. And then start a project, which is to start a project that the community state a project the community is starting, and decide its duration. So let's see. I think that the easiest thing for me to do right now would be to uncover something old. Let me go down to that. So one of the action types is uncover something old. Reveal something from before or during the occupation. It might present a problem, offer an opportunity, or a bit of both. Draw it on the map. Drawings should be small and simple, typically like smaller than an inch. Finish pretty quickly. We can use this action to introduce unresolved issues and dilemmas, resurfacing the history of the community. It might even be something that is familiar to the community members, but surprising to us as players. When individual monsters get introduced through this action, we give them names and record these names on our index card. So example situations: a mass grave is found north of the community, a pack of werebeasts emerges from the woods, forgotten tales of the end times start to circulate, an ancient rite is completed for the first time since the occupation, an archaic religious symbol appears in the sky. Various things that can happen. So in the thing that I'm going to discover, let's see. I don't know why this just popped into my head, but why not? This is a fantasy setting. We can do whatever we want. I'm going to discover something old, and the thing I'm going to discover is that, so there's this... Why and how this is the case, I'm not sure. I'm gonna put it... There are crabs here, so I'm assuming that there is that there is probably bodies of water nearby somewhere. So I'm gonna move away from where I think those are and draw in closer to the bottom here, where I'm going to say there's some craggy, rocky territory, and in this craggy, rocky territory, atop it is a nest. And I think that this could be maybe one of the goblins discovers this, or the cat might discover it, perhaps. And inside this nest is a really big egg. That is as yet unhatched. And it seems that there was a large bird-like creature that used to live there. Maybe it was a big pterodactyl, or maybe it was something else. We're not sure right now. That nest was empty, but there's an egg there now. So that probably means something. And that's my turn. So, so the action is going to pass on to Lonnie. So you get to draw a card.
Okay.
And we'll see what it says.
All right. I'll pull it out. Okay. So I chose Spring 2. So I can either answer what cultural practice or ritual unifies your community, or there is a monster who did not join with you in driving off the humans. Where are they on the map? What makes them different?
Mm-hmm.
I think I want to talk about unity. I want to start off nice. And then if the cards start making us choose harder things afterwards, but a cultural practice or ritual that unifies our community. Okay, this is a simple but little cute little idea. I think we all just go on a walk every day. I don't know. I feel like we all just, like, because we're kind of in this area, there's probably always things to be found. So I think we always do kind of just take a little stroll, and it, all of us might be fighting about what weather pattern we want to see or something like that. But, like, whatever weather just happens to be at that moment, we don't touch the ritual weather thing. We just, whatever weather it may be at that time, just a nice little walk.
I love it. So yeah, feel free to draw something on the map to indicate that.
I think what I'm gonna do, is there a way to thicken the brush at all?
I believe there is.
Yeah. If you click the brush and then there's regular, you can change it to the size.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I want to see what this looks like really fast. No, that's not what I want. Okay. Okay. Because what I was thinking is, like, I can't get rid of this thing. Okay. There we go. Nope. Can't get rid of it. I think there's just, like, a worn path that we have like kind of created, just walking in erratic like little patterns around. I don't want to make it too. I'm gonna make it like a really light gray, just so it's not like distracting from things, but just like, we're gonna like start over here and we're gonna like loop around this new tree we found, and like just totally no pattern, no following the cobblestone, just like I think just a random little pattern that we've started wearing into the grass.
I love it. Oh, nice. Okay, I see.
Yeah. I don't know. I guess it would have to connect eventually. So we kind of like walk along the wall and then like go back here.
Yeah.
So
That's cool. Nice.
Yeah.
Excellent.
And then so after that I choose a
And
thing.
yes, you have an action. You can uncover something old, agree on something, or start a project.
Okay. I think it would be cool to start a project and
Awesome.
work on getting rid of the fence around the little garden, because it doesn't really make sense to have a barrier around nature. So I think we would all be like personally confused by it. Like why are these plants separate from all of the rest of the plants?
Yes, awesome. Okay, so the final action. So this is an action type. Start a project. You choose a situation on the map and tell us how some of the monsters address it. It doesn't matter if the entire community supports the project or not. Work begins. Projects might focus on decolonization efforts, the restoration of old customs or edifices, or new endeavors that will move the community forward. They give example projects. The Muthworms and Ruthven begin dismantling the fences that the humans built, which is very much kind of what we're doing here. Or we're teaching the Draken tongue to our village young, or someone leads several others in restoring runic arches. And we need to decide as a group how many weeks the project would reasonably take to complete, minimum 1, maximum 6. And remember that you are a community in recovery. Many of your powers have lain dormant and your traditions acquired stigma. Is your community prepared to tackle this project? Must healing and practice transpire first? Be generous with your assumptions, but do remember that your community needs to build capacity slowly. And then we will place a die on the map wherever the project has taken place, with the die face matching the number of weeks it will take to complete. So how many weeks do we think that's going to take to? Do we want to dismantle the whole wall?
I think, yeah, and I think it'd only take like a week.
I was thinking like like maybe
a lot of wall.
2 or
Well,
maybe
depends how big it is.
3, I guess. Yeah, is it like a really well made like logs being used, or is it
like it's up to, I imagined a stone wall.
Okay, then longer than that.
Definitely,
I was thinking wood, and I was just like, we could smash it a little bit. We got a hermit crab.
If that were the case, no. But this was like I was sort of, remember I said, the kind of a Hadrian's Wall type deal. So it's a bunch of stones piled on each other with light dirt and whatever packed in.
I'd say a month then, because I don't think it's also a very large. I don't think it's a very like big, like a project that we're like, this needs to happen right now. Also, I'm sorry, I gotta say this: that wall and the garden, it looks like a piece of toast with butter on it. And now
I see that now. Yeah.
I want bread and butter. I'm just looking at that and like, delicious. But I think like a month of us working on it.
So like 4.
Yeah, 4 weeks.
Yeah, 4 weeks.
4 weeks.
4 sounds good. So Lonnie, if you want, you can grab one of the dice and bring it out there, and
right here. And
we'll talk about how do we. So you right click on the die, and you'll see at the bottom of that menu that appears, it says multi-sided. Hover over multi-sided, and then click choose side, and that'll give you a little slider that changes the number of dots on the dice. I set these up as rollable table dice, basically.
That is so cool. Okay.
And now you can decide who all do you think is getting into this project.
I don't know. I think Rem would definitely, like, I imagine just like a tiny little army of little hermit crabs just crawling all over the place and trying to carry away debris pieces.
I think the Cherrick would probably help, just because they can burrow under and they can move dirt pretty easily.
that's
Yeah,
great.
Kit's not helping, and Toshi's a cat, a domesticated cat. So I think those two are out.
Yeah.
Honestly,
And
the cat would probably just be sitting on the wall, just watching, and be like, "Oh, you want to just move this piece?" Oh,
Knocks a piece off
the
every
cat
once in a while.
is
Yeah.
is the cat upset about this project at all? Do we think?
Not really. I think it's more
Okay.
like Lonnie was mentioning. I think it's more of a curiosity where it's just keeps getting in the way because it can get in the way.
Okay,
And
the cat will
occasionally
not be
I'll
taking.
pop off.
So
I
the
don't
cat
think
will
there's
not be
any
taking it.
contempt tokens.
Yeah, no contempt tokens yet. Okay,
No.
just checking.
It's like a small hindrance. It's just
Yeah.
enough. Occasionally, a little hermit crab, the little baby ones in the teacups. Occasionally, one of those gets upturned by the cat.
Nice. So, Lonnie, if you want to draw something representing this project starting, go ahead.
Okay.
And while you're doing that, we'll go ahead and move on to our next turn.
Does it have to? So we said
sorry?
it could be symbols too, right?
Yeah, absolutely. As long as it's not words, you're good.
Okay, I want to draw something that's kind of modern. I'm gonna draw one of those little things with like a construction zone, kind of like the yellow with like the black diagonal stripe.
Yeah. Awesome.
Chevrons? No, chevrons are V-shaped, I think.
Yeah, chevrons are V.
Awesome.
Why do I know that? Weird things I know.
There was definitely a chevron like phase for a while that I feel like a lot of people were like doing stuff with.
Yeah. So, Cyber, do you want to go ahead while that's going on and draw the next card?
Okay. There we go. Let me bring it out so I can see what it is. Oh no! And then draw on it, as I can.
Ah, yes.
Okay.
Just drag it into the box so that we can all see it. So that
Okay, I'll bring it up
the
here.
audience can see it. Cool.
Okay. It is unusual that monsters form communities. Agree on something about why this community exists. Or, the monsters have always lived in communities. Agree on something as the nature of the monster communities. I think I want to go with the first option, that it's unusual, because we got a lot of interesting monsters here. This would not be normal. Let's see. Agree on why this community exists.
Okay.
I think in this case, ooh, I like this idea. The reason why we have this weird mixture of creatures so far is that I think this little hamlet, before the humans got chased out, the reason why they ended up getting chased out is I think there was a traveling circus.
Ooh, interesting.
And we were part of it.
So I'm gonna just read out the agree on something, the rules for that. Another of the action types is agree on something. One open with a statement about a problem or issue in the community, and this is one of the monsters is essentially in some way giving this statement. Going clockwise, everyone else gets to weigh in once, sharing their agreement with your statement or describing what their silence looks like. Remember to indicate which monster is speaking or not speaking. Agreeing on something never results in a concrete decision. Everyone weighs in or stays silent, and then it's over. So this is how conversations work in communities. There's much left unsaid to preserve the peace. So each agreement should be tied to a situation on the map. When an agreement ends, mark the situation it is attached to with a small dot. So as an example, a community might agree on how to punish the ball of light for failing to warn the community about problems at the wizard's tower. The first player says, I do say we should punish Sol by locking him into the tower. The second player, and I'm going to editorialize here slightly for reasons, Tezog sits in silence, picking at his ear, disinterested. And the third player says, the wisps buzz around and say, yes, Sol is dangerous. The fourth player says, Sol radiates grief but stays silent. It is important that we stay concise. If any of us feel like we have more to say on a topic, we can always agree on something about it at a later point. So, that said, Cyber, you get to start the discussion as one of the monsters, and just let us know what you think they say.
Okay, sorry. So I was going off of... Apologies, I'm trying to think of how to go about this, because I went wildly off my own thing. Okay, so I gotta...
You can still have a circus, it's just,
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to think of. I'm like, shit, now how do I get this to correlate to each other? Okay. I'm gonna go with Rem the Hermit Crab. Statement is that, the humans forced us all together. And we escaped. We should get more monsters to join us, many different kinds.
And we each in turn get to pick a monster and tell us what they are, either they're saying or what their silence looks like.
This isn't that yet, but now I'm just thinking that Rem's house should be a top hat from the circus ringleader. Um, I'm so like used to like thinking of my own character. I'm like, oh, what would these other characters think now?
Yeah, I stole your Rem.
Come on. I mean, technically,
And apparently
what I
Rem can
could
talk.
do-
I didn't know that before.
It's all actually in clacks, but everyone can understand it. It's just click, 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 click. Or actually, better yet, it's just cookie, 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 cookie.
And every once in a little bubble at the corner of his mouth for a very like emphasizing point.
Those
I
who
will
don't know,
say
I was referencing a Pokemon for this. Just to let people know.
it's a
That's how Kinglers talk.
king. Okay.
Yeah, originally it's cookie, cookie.
I will say I do think that all of the other little ones around Rem are silent just because they aren't old enough to have been in the circus. So they're just like, I don't know what you guys are talking about, but um I feel like the Cherik. So you said that the Cherik kind of act in a way that's like the kind of badger that would invite you for tea, kind of.
That's what they look like, at least. I haven't decided anything about their personalities yet, so you feel free to go wild, as it were.
As soon as you said badgers, I was thinking about how I played a honey badger a few weeks ago in Honey Heist, and I played that thing as unhinged as possible. So I'm thinking the badgers, like, were the ones that snuck away from the circus as much as possible to, like, just go do their own thing. And, like, you know, if there's any schedule, like, oh, there's going to be badgers on at this point, like they just weren't there sometimes. So I feel like they don't really have any loyalty to the circus, but I think they just kind of like I think they appreciate that the circus at least brought everyone together.
Cool.
Kind of like nodding, but in like that kind of silence of like, yeah, we didn't really care for the circus specifically, but you guys are cool.
Yeah, and I think the Goblin family, Ugla, Greg and Faye, the two children, would probably turn to their mother and go, "Friends? New friends?" And Ugla would probably smile at them, then looking back to Rem, nod in agreement, and then say, "We'll see who we can find." Because I imagine that they were kind of like a sideshow act, you know, like you see with carnival, old school carnivals, like
Yeah.
real, like
Yeah.
a century plus ago, where you had the sideshows. I'll put it that way.
Right.
I don't know
Yeah. So I think that I'm going to choose the cat. I think that Toshi just sort of is just sort of leaning on its on its paws and just sort of kind of is almost sort of does that thing where its back just sort of arches up a little bit and shrugs and stretches and is just sort of looking around, and I think kind of in response just sort of jumps down off the wall that is slowly trying to be disassembled and sort of paws at the fence to to indicate that they want something that's in there, but that's about the only indication you get from Toshi. And that's the discussion. We can put a dot next to the thing on the map that this kind of references, and or this is a little abstract, but I kind of almost want to put it just by the fence, because that kind of is one of the things. We could put it by the fence or by the church, but as far as or just something we're talking about. We were talking about inviting a bunch of monsters to the community, right? So we could put it by anything. What do we think? Oh, we could put it by the gate, sort of indicate like a letting people in type deal. Do we think?
Yeah, I think
Yeah,
like
sounds
welcoming them in. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. I'm just gonna put. Whoa. Let me get a bigger dot than that. There we go. To indicate that we talked about that. And so that was a thing. That was an action triggered as a result of a card. And so now all projects tick down. So the 4 ticks down to a 3. You can go ahead and right click on that and take that down as they're continuing to try to dismantle the wall. And then, Cyber, you get to pick an action. You can uncover something old, agree on something, or start a project.
I think I would like to start a project.
Excellent. What kind of project do you want to start?
I think because I said that we should like grow our community. We should grow our community. So I think the project I'm gonna have going on is the church building. I think it's time to like have that be a nice little like area for monsters to move into. So I want to cosify it. You know, make it more homey. And I think the
Cool.
ones to do that will be the Cherik, the badgers. Because they can dig out the floor of the church and everything like that and make like burrows and areas to like have others join in. And I feel like that's going to take a while, so I think that's like the 6.
You kind of redecorate and make it more amenable to monsters' presence.
Yeah, make it more of a place that the monsters can actually like live in.
How big is the church if it's going to take 6 weeks to clear it out?
I don't think it's like huge per se, but I think like just along the lines of the reason why I'm thinking like 6 is like, you know, burrowing holes and things like that, like making actually a network of tunnels. So.
Oh, okay. So making paths to and from the church.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, okay, yeah. That'll take a while.
Yeah.
I think.
That's why.
Do we agree? Is 6 weeks good?
Yeah, I think that sounds good because they're also going to probably going to have furniture and things in there that they'll want to break down to make nesting materials.
Yeah, it's going to take a little bit.
At first, I thought you were saying they wanted furniture, and I was just like, "Oh, we know what couches are." No, we're breaking down the furniture for. Okay, cool.
Breaking net.
Awesome. And so yeah, you can start drawing something to indicate that that project, and then the turn moves to Rob.
Okay, so I draw 1 card. Deal. Oh wait. See if I did that correctly.
You've pulled it into your hand, which it's still possible to do it. So what you do is you click on it. You'll see it'll pop up. Click and hold the left key on the card and drag it out onto the tabletop. There you go.
Ace of Spring. Okay, perfect. I gotcha. Okay, the occupation. So the occupation. Sorry, let me make sure it's up where everybody can see it. The occupation left you all forever altered. Agree on something about how the human changed you, or one of you begins to manifest new monstrous qualities. What are they? I think I want to go with the first, leading to or dovetailing from what was just said about us having been in the circuit, that there is maybe I
Well,
think
which one are
for
you doing?
most, I'm going to say agree on. So I'm the occupation left us forever altered.
Okay.
Agree on something about how the humans changed us.
Yeah. Now I should point out we actually aren't supposed to talk about a lot of things around it because that's it's mostly just to when we have
just state it. Just state
yeah,
it.
So just let us know. So you can tell us what the conversation is about beforehand. It's absolutely fine. But then when you go into your statement, it's just you tell us.
Gotcha.
Yeah. But yeah, we shouldn't take too horribly long saying what the thing is. Sorry,
gotcha,
go ahead.
Gotcha. No worries. That's a good clarification. The being in the circus left many of the creatures, many of these monsters, claustrophobic. Let me make sure that wasn't an issue for anybody. I'm thinking especially because some of them, like the goblin family, were left in cages.
So we do have a veil on slavery, and so we want to just make sure that we're so we may not want to go into detail about it.
Yeah. So
we can mention it as existing, but we don't want to. Let's not drag it out.
Yeah.
So
as far as the discussion, then,
so
would we?
Who are you picking, and what are they doing?
Ogla would say, "We like to sleep in the open air." Under the stars.
Okay.
I guess then Kit will point out the fact of being like, well, then I think it's problematic that we're leaving the walls of the church up and building and digging into it.
Ooh. Mm-hmm. Who said that?
Kit.
Ooh, okay. I think that Cherrick is one of the Cherricks is going to say, "Well, I think this is a perfectly fine project, just repurposing things." No, now it's as long as we we're not doing. We can knock more holes in there, I suppose. And that's it. That's basically what they're. But actually, you know what? And sorry. Go ahead.
No, you can finish. I'm sorry.
I think that actually, I even said too much there. I think that but yeah, I think that I need to show their silence, and so they're muttering about stuff like that. But they're mostly just they just sort of look, and they sort of are shrugging and continuing, sort of quietly. Some of them are scampering off and continuing to dig. That's what they're doing.
I think Rem just says, everyone has their own preferences. I wear my house on my back. Whatever anyone wants to do.
Interesting. Cool. And so yeah, you can put a Cyber, you can put a little dot next to the thing that we were talking about. Or not Cyber. I'm sorry, not Cyber. I'm talking. That's Rob.
Yeah.
Rob. It's Rob's turn.
Yeah. So we will do.
Occasionally, we forget whose turn it is. Occasionally, I do. Anyway, I try not to.
I hijack all the ideas since I have the biggest flower crown.
Aha!
I like Victor. There we go.
Put mine to shame.
Yours is
There
better
we go.
than mine. Mine's dollar store
Yours is
flowers that I
so
just slap hazard put together yesterday while playing D&D.
You literally can't tell on stream. It looks adorable.
Well, it's like, yeah, there's nothing past this point.
It looks like
But
it's like literally just flowers in your hair. That's the thing. So
Or purple.
Okay, so what?
I put the
So
dot
then,
by the tree to represent,
yeah. Okay, so let me see something here. Yeah. So then the projects count down. So we take each of the projects and mark them down one. So the 5 goes to so the 6 goes to a 5 and the 3 goes to a 2. And then Rob, you get one action. One of the 3 actions: uncover something old, agree on something, or start a project.
I want to say that this time we uncover something.
Okay.
As the Cherrick are digging, they discover some dusty old tome, some dusty book. Which maybe leaves Ugla curious. So I can go ahead and draw a book over there.
Ooh, okay. So, where's the book?
It is going to be... I'm trying to do this the right way. Rectangle. There we go. Right here. I'll fill it in real quick.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's a dusty old book. Do we know anything about it, or is it just basically?
I think we don't know anything yet.
Okay.
So maybe
Cool.
it's
No, it's fine.
something we're
It is a
curious
named
about.
thing, so therefore there is significance.
Yeah, it'd be so cool if any of us were actually literate.
Yeah.
Yeah. Exactly.
Excellent. Well,
Neat. Toilet paper.
well, we've each had a turn now, and things are going to pick up from here on. But we are actually at around halftime, so I think we're going to go ahead and go to break for just a little bit. We'll be seeing you probably 10-ish minutes or so, probably something along those lines. However breaks work. Do remember to donate because we're supporting Rewild and PCRF this week. Just as a reminder, every $10 you donate gives you an entry to win one of our giveaways. We will see you soon. Welcome back. Welcome back. For anyone just joining us, it is Wild Week. We are supporting Rewild and the Palestinian Children's Relief Fund this week. And so for every $10 you donate, you receive an entry for a chance to win awesome prizes: Red Wolf Conservation merchandise, TTRPGs, and commissioned art by 3 very talented artists, one of whom is with us right now. We are right now, we're sitting at $325 on the way to our $500 goal, which is wonderful, freaking awesome. So we're getting close. We're getting close. So very much looking forward to that. So pledge. We are in the midst now of the deep forest. I'm actually going to go ahead before I get back into that. I'm going to type the charity command in there so folks can know where and how to pledge. It's right down there. So we're in the midst right now of the Deep Forest. This is a map drawing game, and we have come back around to my turn. Before I dive forward with this, I did just want to mention that the one mechanic that we haven't really talked much about that I engaged in a tiny bit with the Badgers have a tiny bit of contempt after one of the discussions that came up. So these contempt tokens, which I've got off screen here, essentially the way that contempt works. Let me read that out real quick. If you ever feel like a particular monster wasn't consulted or honored in a decision-making process, you can take a piece of contempt and place it at the edge of the map nearest the lair of the monster you feel was overlooked or ignored. I think it's easiest with this setup just to put it by the monster in question. If someone starts a project that you don't agree with, you don't get to voice your objections or speak out of turn. You're instead invited to place a piece of contempt. Contempt will generally remain on the map for the rest of the game. It will act as a reminder of past contentions and slights, signs of discord within a diverse community. In addition, you can discard it back into the center. You can discard it away in one of two ways: by acting selfishly or by diffusing tensions. If a monster ever wants to act selfishly to the known detriment of the community, you can remove a contempt token to justify the behavior. You don't have to have a contempt token in order to do that, by the way. But if you have one, it's a nice sort of little thing, just sort of signifying. You decide whether the behavior requires justification. This will often trigger others placing contempt tokens in response. If someone else does something that you think a monster would greatly support, that would mend relationships and rebuild trust, you can also remove a contempt token to demonstrate how they have diffused past tensions. And so that was that were the thing there I wanted to talk about briefly. But now we are back to my action, and I shall now draw a card. We have a couple more cards left in spring, then we're going to move to summer so that we can get a move on. So, the Nine of Spring. One of you is still recovering from serious wounds inflicted by the humans. Who? Or, two of the community's smallest members get into a fight. What provoked them? Are either seriously hurt? Ooh. Interesting. I think... This is interesting. This is very interesting. So I think that how would we feel? I'm doing a little bit more than this. I just before we go, this game doesn't normally want you to discuss things like this, but I am going to ask on this occasion. How do we feel about some of the goblin children getting into a fight with some of the crab children?
I'm okay with that. Kids fight.
Yeah, as long as it's like a little scrap and it's not like
Nothing.
Some children just happen to have pinchers. It's not anything.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
Little pinchers.
I think maybe what happened is that it was really just a question of, I think one of them was walking by the stone arch, and they saw something glowing within. And the other party either didn't see it or wanted to get a better view of it. And so they just sort of started pushing and shoving to try to get closer to see this effect that had passed. But there was something was active about this archway. But they were like, they both really wanted to see the thing. And so that's kind of how they had it. It's a little scrap. I don't think anyone was seriously hurt. But I think there may have been some hurt feelings. I think that to my mind, let's see. I think that it might have been the crabs trying to get closer, and and just sort of not fully being aware of the of the goblin kid's space. I think completely that sounds reasonable to me.
They're probably used to being small and like
Yeah.
scuttling under people, and some people might not like that too.
Yeah. So I think that's what came about. I'm going to draw some little glow coming off of this, and I'm also going to draw a little dust cloud that right in front of it to indicate the little scrap that happened. And so that's the thing that happened. We get to count down again on the project dice. So the 2 goes to a 1 and the 5 goes to a 4. So you can feel free to count those down. So the fence project is almost done. And now I must choose a thing. I can start a project, agree on something, or uncover something old. I would like to add another monster to the terrain. Because I feel it is time. I think that so I'm going to uncover something old. Same thing I did last time. I should probably do some projects soon. But I think I this idea is not fully formed in my head yet. But I think we have some moss creatures. We have a moss creature, actually, a single moss creature emerge from the forest. It's actually like moss on rock. Big stony thing with moss all over it. Emerges from the forest. And I'm not clear as to exactly how it moves. But it's this big cluster of boulders with a face. There we are. And I will decide what to name them in the interim. But I think that and they're closest to the badgers. The badgers are probably going to see them first. And that is what we have. This sort of elemental creature has just sort of rolled up. We'll call him like it's a moss and stone elemental, a border elemental. It's kind of composed of the two things. And whilst I'm figuring out the name, we can move on to Lonnie. Or to draw. I think this is going to be the last card of spring we're going to draw.
Let's see. All right. A ritual from the human occupiers has been adopted by some of the monsters here. What is it? Agree on something about why this ritual is vital to retain and preserve as your own. Add the ritual to your adoptions.
Ooh.
I think that having seen the agriculture and like the area that they had, like where it looked like a bunch of little things were growing, and seeing the tree that we know is a good omen of like signs to come. I don't think we have borders around it. I don't think we make like a plot where it's like this land is separate from that land, but I think we want to try to see if we can grow more of that one tree. Like see if we can figure out gardening in this weird like not again like, gardening but proliferating of the trees. And let's see. I think I should move, first of all, I should move the card out of the way. So we have to agree on something about why this ritual is vital to retain and preserve as our own. Oh, you know what? I just realized that I literally just put agriculture from a taboo into adoption, so I don't know if that works.
Oh, no, that does. That's fine.
Maybe like seedling, like just like different. So it's not like agriculture as like the means to like provide and sell, but like kind of just like bounty for everybody, I guess.
Maybe how
Yeah.
when it comes to us, right, what we do is we like take a whole swath of land and we remove all the indigenous plant life and then we plant the things there. Rather than that, this is more of a holistic, like natural approach, is that we're just going to encourage the seedlings from this tree that would naturally have grown anyways grow. So it's a little different than agriculture in a way.
Yeah, trying to like water it and take care of it and stuff like that, but not like breaking down to make a structured plot. So I guess like plant tendering.
Yeah, plant tendering.
I don't know.
I feel like we could. Let me know how you folks feel about this. I'd feel justified in just moving agriculture over and renaming it.
Yeah.
If we want to do that.
I do like, yeah. And I think I do think that Rem would be the one to come forward about that and kind of just say, I like the idea of sometimes repurposing something that doesn't suit us into something that does. And gestures at the teacups on, his kids' backs and everything.
I guess I will steal Ogla and Breg and Faye, and they're all just like, I like fruit. I like more fruit. And it makes Faye in particular happy, and the little kid just kind of like has that little sugar rush thing. To be like, yes, more sugar. More sugar, more sugar.
And I'm going to go with Toshi since he's the real life Toshi is currently at my feet. And probably is just sitting there, one leg stretched out, cleaning himself. And then looks at everybody and goes,
So eloquent.
yes.
Very insightful. Thank you.
I think that, let's see. Let's see who hasn't spoken yet. I don't think Kit has spoken yet about this. And this is it's about the idea of moving seeds. I think that Kit just sort of scratches a bit, and just sort of the fire around Kit's head just sort of gets a little low for a moment, and I think that and just sort of cock their head curiously, and just I think probably, is repurposing. We'll look forward, and there's this little bit sort of licks of flame come up, almost like not exactly hackles being raised. It's not that aggressive, but it's just a little bit of. And I think that's all that we get out of Kit. And awesome. So you get to put a dot next to something representing what we were talking about.
Okay, I think. Could I like draw another like tiny little tree right next to the one that we have?
Yeah, feel free.
Cool. Actually, I'm just gonna copy. I'm gonna see if I can figure out how to do this. Yeah, okay.
I believe in you.
I'm gonna paste and then oh no, I'm losing it.
Don't believe in yourself. Believe in the me that believes in you.
Oh no, part of the tree didn't go with the rest of the tree.
Okay.
It's okay.
No, wait, no. I'm stealing stuff from this tree. Okay, you know what? This tree just got really, really long limbed.
Sure, no, that's no problem. I mean, we can always. I can do things. But while we are,
I'm not used to having this much power in Roll20. I don't know what to do with it.
corrupting, isn't it? Corrupting influence. I'm going to talk about, since we've got a project about to finish this round, I'm going to talk about how that works real quick. Because there's this one more little thing here, working on projects. So we're reducing a project on the map by 1. If the project reaches 0, the die gets removed and the project is completed. Whoever started the project gets to tell everyone how it turns out and update the map to reflect its completion. If a project finishes early, because a card says that a project finishes early in bold text, it is instead the responsibility of the active player, whoever's turn it is, to tell everyone how it turns out and to update the map. If your card's bold text had you place a project die on the map just a moment ago, that die doesn't reduce during this week. It's just now getting underway. When a project gets completed, it is assumed that it went successfully and is beneficial to the community. In some cases, it might make sense to have an investigative project end with a hope dispelled. Even in these cases, the completion of a project should always feel like a step forward, not backward. This doesn't always mean that the whole community is happy with the results, though. So, whose project was the one by the fence, taking the fence down? Okay, so that ticks down to 0, so you can remove the die. And of course, the church project ticks down to 3. And you get to decide how this project ends. What happens?
I think that we weren't really being like careful to like dismantle the wall. We were kind of just like crumbling it into little bits and like moving it away. So I think we agreed that this is kind of like more of a stone wall around the garden. Was that what we were?
Yeah,
and that's right. We were talking about this. Yeah, the wall. I thought we were talking about the big wall. Now that I was thinking about
no, I was thinking about the one around the garden, because it would be like the whole.
Oh my gosh.
Why is this little bit of like stuff that's growing separated from everything else?
I'm so sorry. Growing. I thought we were talking about this other wall, the big wall.
Oh, that I was okay. Okay, that makes sense.
That explains a great deal. I'm so sorry.
No worries.
That should not have taken that long.
We took a while. That's all it needs to be known.
We were trying to like move the logs away, and it was heavy and stuff like that.
Oh,
so
no.
No, it's okay. It's okay. So I think we have I think basically, I don't know how to really quickly move all of this, but I think basically we now have this plot of earth that has stuff growing on it, but it's no longer separated from the rest. And then we have just a pile of like logs and twigs in various arrays of like, some of them were chopped in half, some of them were like pulled apart just nicely. And they're all kind of like tossed on the side of the property, just like we don't need this boundary. So we have just a log of like a pile of wood and a liberated garden. I'm gonna try to see if I can figure out the best way to move this. Ooh, okay. All right, we're gonna just do that. Oh no, that tried to include.
Might have to zoom in a bit to get the exact bits that you want.
Yeah. Oh, I took away one of the walls. Okay. There we go. So now it is...
I guess you can delete the little construct thing then, or construction thing.
Yeah.
Wait, can I do that? No, I drew.
You can. Yeah, you can if you switch. Yeah, switch to the pointer.
Got it.
Oh, now we just need walls back around. So I think there still is like a difference between like where this, you know, obviously this dirt has been plowed and whatever, but at least it's free, and I think eventually like we'll have walked around it and it'll kind of start to blend out into the rest. But for now it just looks more free to grow however it wants.
Cool. I love it. And so now you also get to take an action, one of the 3 actions.
Jeez, okay. I feel like I've been talking for so long. Okay, I think I'm also going to uncover something old, because I feel like when we are destructing the we're taking all the wood out, I think one of the logs has a rune on it. Like obviously we don't know that it's anything that is special, but there's like some kind of symbol that is just like, it looks like it should be engraved in there, but it's actually raised up from the surface of the wood instead.
Yeah.
So I'll draw like a little bit of a thicker log, I guess, that we can, it seems like would have some writing on it.
Yeah. Very cool. Minor technical note: are my captions coming through? Because it looks like they might not be. Maybe I need to refresh that screen. I will do that. Testing 1 2 3 testing.
I'm not seeing
there we go. Excellent.
Oh, there you are. Okay.
Yay. Cool.
Forgot about delay in Twitch streams.
Yeah. Like, that's what I was doing the same time. I was looking over there. It's not happening. Oh, wait.
But yeah, so I drew a log and like a random little like yellow quiggle on it, because, you know, none of us know what the rune means.
Yeah. I love it. It's the idea is that as they were taking apart the fence, that it's like, wait, what's this? Nice. So we're switching over to summer, and so we go to Cyberella next to draw the first summer card.
All right, let me click that and drag it in. Okay, let's see. Someone sabotages a project and the project fails as a result. Who did this, and are they caught? Or someone is caught trying to sabotage the efforts of the community. How does the community respond? We only have 1 project going on. But I guess it sounds like I already had a little bit of contention going on, so I guess I'll go with that one. So I think the project that's getting sabotaged is the only one that's the expansion of the church to more
Okay.
kind of a more living quarters for other monsters, and it's gonna be from those little scamps, the Goblin family.
Oh no!
Um, and so I think what happens is that they take to heart what Kit kind of said about the fact that they're like, well, I guess then if you guys have a problem with a bit of claustrophobia, there's walls. The church has walls, right? And they can't do anything about the tunnels, but they decide that they're going to one night destroy the walls. And I think they do. And because it wasn't like, the building has been upkept in a little, like in a season and things like that, and the badgers have been digging holes, and so I think they
Oh.
like go for one of the supporting pillars and push it, and it collapses the entirety of the roof.
Well, here we go.
And as for whether they got caught, um, let's see.
That's a good question.
I'm gonna leave that to Rob because Rob created these little scamps. Rob, did they get caught? And if so, by who? Or did they get away with this?
I feel like they're crafty enough and sneaky enough that they didn't get caught. But there's some obvious scuffling, scuffed up dirt and grass. It's obvious that it wasn't something that happened naturally. But it's not determined that it was them.
Okay, yeah, someone did it. We don't know who. Nice.
I'm gonna put an X because that fell through.
Oh, yeah. Alas. Well, that's that project. So no projects to take down.
He's gonna remove the ceiling. No more ceiling.
Oh no!
The roof collapsed.
And so
yeah.
Yeah, so you get to do a thing.
I also feel like I have the uncover something old bug going on, and it's mostly because I've been drinking out of this Mothman Loves You mug, and we got an egg that's just been sitting there, so I want that egg to hatch. And out comes
Excellent.
from it a little Mothman. I'm gonna
Pretty
draw
big
a
one.
little.
That's a pretty big egg.
No, it's a huge egg, but it cracks open. It's just no.
Oh, okay.
Ooh, better yet. Nope, sorry. It's a small collection of Mothmen.
Oh my god.
There's like 4 of them. And they're
So
all
many
named.
little younglings all around.
They're all named Steve. Every single one of them.
Oh no.
There's Steve the Mothman.
We are the Mothman Steve.
Yep, we are the Mothman Steve. Cute little Mothman.
Excellent.
I'm gonna use my cup as my model.
I love it. Okay. So that then moves while that's being drawn. That goes over to Rob.
Okay, yes, let me see, sorry. And carry this over. What do we got?
Oh.
Sorry, there we go. Oh, sorry, I didn't mean to accidentally cover that.
That's okay.
A young monster lashes out at the community. Ooh, who is it? Who does the community blame for their anger? Or a monster who lived before the occupation claims that the new community is immoral. Start a project that reflects their fundamentalist call. Oh my.
Man, summer is a tumultuous time, apparently.
Yeah.
In trouble with my Mothman.
A young monster or an older monster?
Yes.
What do you think?
I'm kind of feeling Otar comes in and has existed before the occupation and claims that the community is immoral. They don't have
interesting,
just kind of rumbling saying, which everybody kind of understands somehow as you do not have a foundation. So the project, see, I'll get this out of the way. I want to say the project is in the ruins of the church. Otar wants to build a meeting house. I don't know how that sounds to everybody.
That's interesting. I was in what way did he say that the community was immoral, or did he think that it was?
I would say probably Otar says that they have no foundation. They're disconnected.
Okay.
They have Otar wants them to establish a firmer communal belief.
Well, one thing that he could do, just as a recommendation, is he could have the power
Sure.
to reshape the stone,
Yeah, there we go.
and
Yeah.
so you could draw something to that effect as the start of that project. But to transform it into a meeting house, how long do we
Meeting
think that
house.
would take?
I mean, you lost the
Apparently
roof,
Doesn't have a roof
Yeah.
anymore.
and it's full
Yeah.
of holes.
That
It's
seems
gonna
like a
take a while.
six weeker.
That's what I was going to say was at least 4, but I was leaning towards 6.
Yeah. Six
Yeah.
sounds good.
So
Nice.
I will do
I'm
this.
sorry. Can I just take a second to say how much I love my little Steves?
They are so impressive.
Oh, they're
They're little
adorable.
dancing Steves.
Mhm.
Okay,
They are
that's it. I'm
freaking
sorry.
adorable.
I
It
got
looks
really
like they're all flying out too.
I
Yeah.
love them.
I'm sorry. I love them. I've gotten better over time now. It took me a minute.
And then I would say, and I'll start drawing something, but I think the only other action would be I'm going to go with a proposal for others to agree on.
Ah.
And it's going to be Ogla recommending that they change the weather to bring light rains for the newly reclaimed garden and the saplings.
Hmm.
And she'll just say, "We need rain."
I know we're allowed to speak as anyone, but I keep going back to just automatically what Rem would like. And Rem is just like clicking in approval. Rem is probably the one that always wants to try to change the weather to rain, so like just like little claps with her pinchers. Just
Little poetry snaps.
little poetry snaps.
I guess I'll go back to my go-to guy, Kid and Koodle, or however you pronounce that. Sorry, Belgium. Kit, Kit's got a flaming head. I think that he just sighs and crawls in underneath the rubble of the church.
Mm.
Very resigned. It's like,
Mm. Recover. Yeah. They're talking about recovering weather magic. I think that I think you're going to see from he's sort of rolled over. I think Otar has rolled over from where he's working on the church, and you'll see their hands sort of come up. These big mossy stone hands come up, and like sort of rumble up, and you hear this sort of which is sort of understood a little bit to mean to take care. And I think actually I'm just going to leave it at that. I think I've said enough.
Sounds like my father-in-law. Man never wears his teeth. I have no idea what he says. I think he's a really nice guy. I think.
And I'd say that little what I drew underneath the church, that's basically scaffolding just to showcase that they're kind of reshaping the stone.
Yeah, cool.
And rebuilding.
All right, so it's back around to me, and I shall go ahead. How many of these? We are 2 in. Excellent. So I am summer number 3. King of Summer! So, hot summer days lead to anger and paranoia among the monsters. Choose one. The community leaders spend the week silencing dissent. This week ends immediately. Or the community leaps into frenzied action. Start a dangerous project. I feel as though I'm feeling a pull towards starting a dangerous project. So let me see. I think that some anger and paranoia, they want to cool off. They want badly to cool off. And strangely enough, the first folk I can think to do this project would actually be the Steves. And here is what they're going to start doing, right? I said earlier that there's probably a body of water nearby, that this is close to some sort of coast or a big lake or something, because we have these crabs here. So it's like, we all have to cool off. This is terrible. So they're going to immediately, recklessly and haphazardly start pulling together these, I want to say, probably using any tree bark or anything else they can use to carry water in. They're going to flit about. They're still very young, but they're trying to, just immediately leap into action. They're going to go over and try to start carrying water from this body. I'm just going to ask, do we think this is a beach or a lake?
I think a lake.
Okay. They're going to start carrying water from the lake to bring and pour down and pour down onto to help crops, to help growing things, and to try to bring it into the community. This fountain doesn't seem to, because they think that this fountain isn't doing enough. Apparently. We never established if the fountain's still working, but it's blue, so maybe it is. They're basically trying very haphazardly to find a system to route the water from the lake more directly into the community. And so they're trying to, I guess, encourage, I don't know if they want to encourage that a canal be built, or if they're just with leading by example in that respect. I think that, yeah. I think just they're trying to create a water carrying system.
Swiss Family Robinson it without any actual engineering ability.
No, none whatsoever. It's going to look terrible. But I'm going to put the lake up here in the upper right hand corner.
So proud of my go-getter children.
Yes, and they're going to go get it. I think this project for trying to generate a a creature-powered aqueduct system. This is going to take at least 5 weeks. What do we think?
I'd agree with that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd go with that.
Okay. They have taken on a major freaking project. Okay. So that's going to be 5 weeks. And so now project dice go down. The 6 does, the 5 does not, because it came up this turn. And now I get to do a thing. I get to uncover something old, agree on something, or start a project. I'm going to start a project. Because we had this communicated that we're trying to figure out how the weather magic works. And so I think that a project has started to study the archway and try to figure out how to harness what it does. We don't know if the book is involved at this point. I think it's funnier if we don't involve the book yet. But I suspect that this is something. I feel like I'm going back to my earlier narration. I don't think the Badgers would be interested, so I think that I think this is down to either the Rem or the or one of Ogla's people. Because they got into that altercation about it earlier. Who is going to be... I think it would be hilarious if the Rim did it. So, yes, this is the project. Learn weather magic from this rock. That is the project that the Rim are engaging in. I feel as though this is they're going to study... Well, the project is study the stone. We don't know if they're actually going to accomplish learning the magic. I'm going to take this in bites, right? So I feel like just studying the stone might be a 2 or 3 week project. What do we think?
That seems fair.
I think 2.
Yeah, I was leaning toward 2 as well.
All right, I'm going to choose 2, and I'm going to do the lazy thing of copying and pasting one of the crab children. I'm going to place them down there, and they are with a look of intense study about them.
I do love the idea of all of them just like kind of crawling over the rock and trying to be like, what does this mean? What does that do?
Absolutely. So that is my turn, and it moves on to Lonnie.
Okay. All right. The Queen of Summer. Summer is fleeting.
Ooh.
Discard the top 2 cards off the top of the deck and take 2 actions this week.
I got to tell you about something. Normally, when I forgot to pull that card out because normally when we do a reduced thing, actually, we're doing it slightly differently. So if you want, you can just use that card.
I think
or
we
we
can
can
do the
discard
2.
it
Just do the 2 actions then.
Yeah.
Instead, ignore
I
the
think
top part of it.
Okay.
Oh yeah, discard the top 2 cards. Yeah, because we're gonna have 2 less cards anyway. So I mean, if you want, you can draw another card. But if you'd rather just take 2 actions, then just take 2 actions.
My thing is, I don't know what 2 actions I want to do yet.
And then draw another card.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm going to see if the other card will give me inspiration. That there.
Sorry, I accidentally drew, and I'm trying to remove my sin.
Oh.
In
a moment of need, a charismatic monster reveals resources previously withheld. What problem do they resolve? Or an unpopular monster is discovered to be withholding resources from the community. Are they punished? I think that Otar right now is a little bit of an unpopular monster because they're basically saying that we're doing everything wrong and like
Yeah.
all that sort of stuff. So I think right now they they found something in the chapel that would help us figure out more quickly how
Yeah.
to use the stone, but is kind of withholding that information and probably actually tried to destroy it. Um, so um, I think they're basically withholding like the key to the Weatherstone. And as far as if
Ooh.
they are punished or not, we allowed to delay a project if only one character is working on it.
Hmm.
Because, like, theoretically, if we
Yeah.
wanted to punish Otar, could that be like, like
Yeah. I
could we
mean,
stall him from kind of
yeah.
working on the new meeting house?
Yeah. I think we could. Yeah, that's reasonable. We can do whatever we want.
Okay. Well, then yeah, I think we kind of like, I don't want to punish too harshly because I feel like we're also still trying to get Otar to realize that we know what we're doing and try to get him on her side. So I think instead it's gonna be like a forced shadowing program where Otar has to follow like each of us around for a few days just to kind of see like what we do in the community,
Oh,
like how
nice.
we're trying to help build it and see like because what of course somebody's gonna come in and say we don't know what we're doing, but does Otar really know what we've been doing this entire time?
Yeah. Yeah.
So instead of working on your meeting hall, we want you to see like you are being forced to see like first of all why withholding that information was not helpful for us, but also what all of us do to show that there is structure, there's passion.
Yeah. Yeah. I love it.
So Otar is I'm going to also cheat a little bit and I'm going to just drag Otar over to be near Kit and Koodle.
We
Um
should give him a little dunce hat.
oh okay, I'll
Oh
draw him a little
no.
dunce hat.
Oh
Yeah.
no.
He needs a little shame hat.
All right, I'm gonna draw
For
him
shame, Otar.
a little purple dunce hat. It looks like a wizard hat, but it's okay. He has a little purple like dunce hat and he has to shadow all of us instead of working on his project. So if we should we say like we could stall
Yeah, we can say
the
that it just
project?
doesn't take down this week.
Okay.
Yeah. But
Okay.
this one does. The studying the stone does.
Cool.
Probably more specifically because we have the key now.
Yeah. I mean, we still have to figure out like, okay, this is what the key does, and this is how it like
Yeah.
still have to put two and two together, and that's hard for,
Yeah.
illiterate little hermit crabs, but
Yeah.
they're working their
Difficult.
best. They're doing their best.
Difficult. And so then you get to take an action.
Does your Mothman little aqueduct also
Oh, right,
progress?
it does. Yes, thank you for reminding me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Um
Got 2 projects running. I forgot.
yeah. Um I feel like this is a good agree on something moment where
Ooh.
we especially have Otar um in the mix. And I'll take on Kitten, what was it? Kitten Cluda? I was calling it Kitten Koodle and then I realized I don't know if that doesn't look how the spelling is.
Like I said, I don't know how to pronounce it, and I apologize to all the Belgium for this because it's a Belgian folk character. But like, it's
I'm
a
gonna
joke
call
off
him
of Kid and Caboodle. Is like Kid
yeah.
and Caboodle. Good old.
I'm gonna say Kit just for short. I think Kit is the one because right now I'm kind of having Otar be near Kit as like shadowing, and I think Kit kind of the flames kind of pick up a little bit more to express the anger of like not being trusted in a community and just says um we need to make sure we trust each other and give each other all the information we need to be able to help each other help others. And kind of will pointedly look at Otar with his little dunce cap.
And
I will. Oh no,
oh,
go first.
no, you go ahead.
I was gonna take the Steves. The Steves are a unit that work together, so there's like Steve.
And you just know that, well, I mean, if they work as a unit, then they know what working
Yeah.
like a unit.
It's
Yeah.
a very overwhelmingly positive Steve being chanted. Steve.
And I think the REM are probably going to, hearing Kit's words, they're going to raise their claws up and basically do the Zoidberg dance, just kind of clapping in excitement and agreement because they're the ones putting in the effort to learn about the stone. And so they're frustrated and agree with Kit on this, that we have ways of doing things.
Hmm. So I think that Otar is in the conversation. So I think that they're going to. I think that the hens come the hens and forearms come out sort of rocked and see them go like this. They just sort of then they cross a bit, and I think I'm going to give him contempt.
I was afraid that was going to happen. But then again, I feel like all of us should have. I feel like Rem kind of puts contempt also towards Otar as well for being the reason why this was harder to crack the code.
I mean, yeah, you can totally grab a contempt and put in for that too.
They did keep you at least a couple of weeks off from getting that rain that you want so readily.
Exactly.
Especially
Yeah,
in the
And
hot
for what?
summer.
It's a hot summer. This person just came in out of nowhere, said we're doing it all wrong, but then doesn't help us do it right.
I feel like Ugla would also have contempt because of the rain situation and discovering that
Yeah,
Otar had withheld
no, absolutely.
something so
Yeah,
important.
I got it. So, yeah, I guess we go to Cyberella.
Okay. And Toshi's a cat, so cat. Probably actually sleeps on Otar occasionally in the sunlight.
Yeah.
Alright, let's see. We have the 6th of summer. A project finishes early. Say how it's resolved, who prove themselves most valuable in its early completion, or a charismatic monster harnesses the excitement and goodwill of the community to start a new project. I'm going to be. I think. I think I, as a player, want to be selfish, and I think I want what's best for my little babies, my Steves. So I think I want the Steves to complete their project.
Okay.
And the way in which they did this is this whole time they've been trying to Rube Goldberg machine it up, and they are just they're not smart babies. They're literally babies. Why are we letting babies do this? So I think what actually happens is that I would like to say that Otar has a little change of heart. Um, After being scolded by everybody, he's grumpy and quite angry, but decides that he wants to prove himself. So, in the middle of the night, he starts digging out a channel to bring the water in.
Oh, nice.
Bypassing entirely whatever the frick these kids have been building out of sticks and mud, because sticks and mud were never going to make this work. And all the steeds are sitting there, and one day I'm going to put it, I think, right by the fountain. Or not the fountain, sorry, it's all the way up north. That would be very far. Let's say we'll bring it down. So there'll be a channel that comes down, and a little pool forms down here now. And it's all proper, like, lined with, like, rocks and sand, so it doesn't, like, you know, all absorb up into the soil and stuff. And all of the Steves think they've completed this task.
Yes. Obviously, they did it.
Yeah, so you see them, like, flapping each other with their little wings, like, patting each other on the back, being like, Steve, you did it! Steve, you did it! Completely not realizing that Otar did it the whole time, so go
Nice.
Otar.
Excellent. So yeah, we can pull that project
Move
die
it
off.
down,
Yeah. And so all the project dies tick down, which means that the thing's going to go from a 5 to a 4 at the church, and this one is done. So I there's a thing I desperately want to do, and I don't know if it's realistic enough. We'll see. So I think that what happens is the Rem, the little Rem who has been studying this, the couple of little Rems have been studying this. Once they had the key, that made it a little easier. But they have figured out how to turn the arch on and off, which is very delightful. They haven't yet figured out how to make it rain, but they have come to a greater understanding of the work of the arch and feel as though they they're getting close to mastering it. And so what I'm going to do, and it's funny because I actually have wanted to do this for a little while, but when I wanted to do this when I started the project, but you'll see why it's funny in a moment. I'm let me zoom in on that tiny little rim there. I'm going to draw a little wizard's hat on the rim.
You're a wizard, Rem.
He is. So that one. Oh no. Yeah, they
I guess
have.
while you finish that hat, I'm going to use my action to start a project.
Yes.
Now that my little children are freed up from the job that they totally think they actually accomplished, which they did not accomplish, I'm going to start a project. In which case, that little our little seedlings that we got going down there in the orchard, I think they're gonna tend to them. They're moths,
Ooh.
and I know it's summer, but there's still some flowers about, so they're gonna start pollinating. I'm just gonna move my little dudes. Oh no, one lost a wing. What have I done? My babies! Yeah, I'll pick them up and move them. So that's what I'm gonna do. And I think it's only gonna take, like, I think a week, right? That sounds about it. Of them tending to stuff.
Yeah, I think so. Just at this phase, yeah, just sounds good to me.
Yeah, they're just pollinating, you said, so.
Yeah.
Oh no, my babies keep losing their wing. Back here, wing.
Cool.
Okay.
Awesome.
So if anyone wants to continue on, I will move my
And,
babies where they belong.
Yeah, Rob, go ahead and draw. I think this is the 6th one, so the 6th summer card. So we're going to move to autumn next after this turn.
Okay. Someone begins to address an urgent need, no matter the cost. Start a project that will alienate some monsters in the community, or someone demands that a constitution be written. What rules do they propose that anger the community? Ooh. I feel like, oh, this is a tough one. I know we said Otar had a change of heart, but I feel like Otar still feels like there's a need for a greater foundation for the community. That I think Otar proposes writing down a constitution because from Otar's perspective, there is no clear leader, and there should be someone who governs the community. So that would be the rule that they propose, that they elect someone to actually lead the community.
Yeah.
Rather than rather than this freewheeling, what they see as a freewheeling setup.
Who do we think that angers?
Oh, I think it angers Kit.
Mm-hmm. I think so too, because Kit was the one who really seemed to get most fired up.
Yeah. Kit kind of Kit, I think, likes their freedom a bit more than anything else, and is like, we're in a circus, we had rules, and I hated that, and I don't like this either. It's like, I don't need another ringleader.
I feel like it angers Ugla as well for the same reasons, wanting to be free again, wanting the opportunity to work harmoniously rather than being dictated from on high. Yeah. So I almost feel like that inspires another round of another degree of contempt.
More contempt. Feel free.
Yeah, I'm
grab that contempt.
I'm tossing some contempt over at Kit for Kit. The Steves don't understand government, so they're fine.
Yeah.
I feel like the Rem are. I don't think the Rem are gonna get any more contempt, but still kind of just like he doesn't even go here kind of vibe of just like, I don't understand why like a new person just came in and is telling us what to do.
I don't think the Chariot care so much because they just do whatever they want to anyway.
Yeah.
They've been happily digging holes.
Yeah.
And so, Toshi's just basking in the sun.
Oh, yeah, the cat's not gonna. As long as there's someone there to possibly get food from, I think they're fine.
Yep.
So you also get to write to draw something that that indicates that this took place.
Okay.
That this proposal has taken place.
Yep. So I'm going to draw. I'm going to zoom in too to draw. Let's see if I can make this look like a wavy piece of paper, as if it's a constitution. And then draw a big fat X over it. Or a large X, rather. Yeah. There we go.
Okay. And let's see, do we have project dice ticking down? I think we do.
Yes.
Yeah, pollination.
So let's see, the pollination ticks down one, and the that one, the church project, I think those are the only ones. And then you get to do an action.
I want to say they discover something. Specifically, the Steves discover. This would be a time when I could introduce a new monster, correct?
Absolutely. Yep.
They discover a small family of sprites in the trees.
Cool.
So I will go ahead and add them over here. Basically, just gonna make little dots because they're just wee sprites.
Nice. I love it. Yeah. You go ahead and do that, and then remember to name the sprites, or what we call these kinds of sprites. But while you're doing that, I'm going to go ahead and draw the first card of autumn. Here we go. Oh, good lord! It's the King of Autumn. An old thing discovered on the map starts to attract monster outsiders on pilgrimages. Agree on something about the problems these pilgrims are causing. Ooh, good lord. Okay. So I think that the thing that, let's see, we've discovered a number of things on the map. I think it might be the archway. That seems to make it's either the art. Let's see. The church was not a result of discover something old. That was
We have the rune on the log, the archway in the book.
Oh wait, you know what? No, the archway was. Didn't I put that there as weather magic? I did. So that was not a discover something. So let's see.
Oh, the rune or the book.
The book was discovered. Yeah, I like the idea of folding in. I like the idea of it being the book. I think. I mean, it could have been like the sprites or one of the other, or the moth folk, because those were also uncovered. But I think they're here looking for the book. So now we must agree on something about the problems these pilgrims are causing. I'm probably gonna have to draw some pilgrims on the map. Monster outsiders on pilgrimages, though. Oh, good lord! Yeah, I forgot. These are monsters. So I didn't even know what kind of monsters these would be. If they want the book. Okay. If I can't think of anything else in the next few seconds, I'm going to go elemental again. I think. Oh, no, I thought of something else. But let me see. No, I need to go elemental. I had one idea and then was like, no, wait, we should do it this way. So I think, let's see, you have sprites. These need to be beings that can read. So I'm gonna say, or at least maybe they can't read. Maybe they just want the book. You know what? Actually, I'm going to change direction completely. I'm going to change course completely because I'm starting to figure something out. It's not the book. It is the log. Because you know what we're going to have? You know what we're going to have. We are going to have tree people.
I knew it.
Yeah. That's what I thought. Like the log and like tree people.
I was like, first, we're surrounded by forest. We cut down stuff that's made out of wood and probably means something to tree people. And I also said ants are my favorite, and now they're being used against me.
Yeah.
Listen, they're very large, and they're not always looking where they're going.
Yeah. Oh, I can already imagine multiple reasons that they're problematic for us.
A couple of Rems have lost their teacups.
No.
They have to get a new thing. What's Slender Tree?
There we go. And we have to agree on something about the problems these pilgrims are causing. Because I have to decide what problems they're causing. Well, we have to kind of figure that out. Yeah, I think they're disrupting. I think they're just sort of they're kind of a disruptive influence because it's like some of the trees are moving. We don't know which ones. sort of in response. And the trees aren't behaving quite the same way, and they're probably very protective of these trees too. So that's a thing. So I think to start the conversation, yeah, okay. I think the Cherik are going to start the conversation, and I haven't named the tree folk yet. Well, I'll get to that. But I have to use something that's that the Tolkien estate won't be upset over. Um, but uh, the these tree folk are moving around, pulling up roots, causing trees to pull up some roots, and bothering our tunnels. They're bothering the land with what they're doing. Just uprooting everything. Can't stand it.
The Steves are agitated because they were finishing up their pollinating job of the saplings and thought they were doing an excellent job when the tree people kind of came in and sort of shouldered them out, and it's like, we can do a better job. We're shepherds of the tree, blah blah blah. None appreciate Steves.
I think Otar also just goes back to crossing his arms and is just grumbling about even more new people with even less structure coming for another magic thing that we don't even know.
I like how Otar's basically become Sam the Eagle.
And I think I'll introduce. So the sprites are called the Saren, and I think they, having just been discovered, having been watching the community, they just kind of flit around the tree people, kind of in frustration, as if to say, "Where were you when the humans came in?"
We're all in agreement that we basically do not like these tree people.
Yep.
But they're
Kinda
big
lost
and
in
difficult to remove, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I guess the Steves are done pollinating.
Yeah.
They
Yep.
did it.
So, how does that project end?
They get muscled out, honestly. They're just about finishing. The tree people finish up, basically,
Oh,
tending
no.
to the trees. And you know what? The Steves will never admit to it because they're too dumb to know any better, but the trees did a better job of, like, structuring the saplings and everything. But my dumb little babies have no idea. They're just dumb little babies.
I do like how the trees are kind of inadvertently going with the whole idea of like, like trees and plants should be able to be anywhere, not confined in a wall.
Yeah.
Just didn't realize they were going to start walking by themselves to do that.
Yeah. They just do stuff. I've named them the Iveth. And so now I must take an action that we've taken down our projects. And see, uncover something old, agree on something, start a project. I was going to start a project until the tree people interfered. So yeah, let's continue along that vein. I think that oh my gosh. I think that the Badgers have had it. I think the Cherokee have had it with things that are going on. And so they feel like they need an edge here. They were going to come down. They were going to send someone down to study the to actually take a look at the log. But at this point, I think that their project is now to. Am I going to be this terrible? Yes. Their plan now is to steal the log in the hope that the tree people will go away. And so they're going to do it by tunneling. Because of course they are. And I mean, their hope is to be able. They wanted to see what it was about, but right now they just want to. They want to steal the log. They want to move it somewhere else so that the tree people go away. And so that project, because they have to dig tunnels to do it, that's going to take at least 3 weeks, I think. What do we think?
Where are you digging it from?
That's a good question, because now it's like they're going to have to. Yeah, because there's a canal in the way, so they're going to have to go around the canal if they want to do it from. Yeah, they're homebodies. They're going to have to do it from the. They're going to want to start a tunnel from their burrow, all the way down.
Yeah, that's a significant distance.
I'm going to say that. Yeah, that's 5 or 6 weeks.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. I think at least 4, if not more, to do it surreptitiously.
I think it's funny because the quickest way is probably just to walk down there and then just
yeah. Instead of just walking over there and being like, "Hey, stop this," they're just like, "I'm gonna go the hard way."
Doing it subterfuge. They're making it very much harder on themselves. So yeah, we'll say. So I think more folks were saying 4 weeks. 4 or 5 weeks. I think. We'll say 4 weeks. They'll rush it. That can only end well. And I'm going to start. I'm going to, well, no, it starts up here. So I'm going to go ahead and start a tunnel. But in so doing, we move on to Lonnie whilst I'm drawing this tunnel.
All right. The 4 of Autumn. A new monster is born. Who are their parents? What hopes does this monster represent to the community? Or a small monster died. Okay, I'm already going with the first one. I'm sorry. There's not happening.
Okay, yeah, no, that's absolutely fine. We can X the whole card if you'd prefer.
Oh, no. I like the bottom half is a small monster dies from an illness, and that's just. I'm starting to love all of these individual little creatures. I'd rather have something new be born.
The of the community is like, I've only known my Steves for a little while, but if they die, I'm going to kill everyone and myself.
Oh no!
It's not like a lines and veils things. It's just like I'm like, nope, love them all. We're gonna
absolutely fine.
All right. Well, I guess the question would be a new monster is born.
All right. There we go.
You know what? I am actually going to a new monster, would that kind of imply that it's not one of like the types of creatures we already have?
Yeah, you can do either way. You can interpret it however you like. So it could be people on the map, or you could draw something new on the map.
Okay.
New parents on the map.
We have a magical arch that happened, so
that's okay. That's literally what I was thinking. Like, what if we literally, because we figured out how to turn it on and off. We haven't really figured out how to actually conjure some of the weather that we want to conjure. So I think at some point, just with fiddling around with it and trying to figure out how to make it work, a wind sprite kind of thing, like literally just like a wisp of wind, is now just born into the area from this like tinkering. So there's no parent specifically, but just this new little like silvery wisp that like over time it grows and kind of like can take different forms, so it can kind of like you manipulate the wind to make different shapes. But like right now it's kind of just like this little silvery wisp just like floating around everywhere.
I love it. I love it. Also, Entropy Emporium has just rated us. Welcome. Welcome, folks. Thank you
Welcome.
very much.
Thank you so
for,
much.
for coming. We are doing a charity drive right now, just so you're all aware, to benefit Rewild and the Palestinian Children's Relief Fund. And for every $10 you donate, you receive an entry for a chance to win awesome prizes. We have Red Wolf Conservation merchandise, TTRPGs. We have commissioned art by three of our artists, one of whom is with us here right now. So do check that out. I just put the thing in chat a moment ago before you arrived, but I'll put it in there again to go. That's if you click the Tiltify link to get the opportunity to help out both the kids and the wildlife as we do our Wild Week this week. So thank you so much for rating. Much appreciated. Awesome. So we've got our lovely little wisp now here.
Yes.
Excellent.
I hope that's like
projects
distinct
tick down.
enough. Projects tick down, so that means that is the chapel one still Otar
Yeah.
trying to? Okay, I can move that one down. Oh, never mind, it's already been moved. Okay.
Yeah,
And
the only problem.
then-
No, we got
Now you do
the
a thing.
badgers badging.
Yep.
Mhm.
Yep, they just did it. So now you get to do a thing.
All right. I think I'm gonna utilize the fact that a new like weather spirit has joined the party to uncover something old, aka introduce somebody that is very, very aware of the concept of weather manipulation. So not really discover a physical thing, but I think the wisp being introduced helps crack the code so that we are able to like they can like manipulate it somehow to be able to kind of have it work to however we're hoping. So
Excellent.
I guess uncovering the secrets of the weather.
Nice.
So.
No, I love it. I love it. Yeah, that's absolutely doable. Maybe. Yeah. So there are a couple ways you can do. You can draw a thing to indicate that is happening.
Oh, I have an idea. When I was younger, there was a Dragon Tales episode where I literally learned how to whistle because of this episode, because it was a storm cloud that was blowing all the other clouds, and like she had to like make the whistling sound to like mimic the wind like whistling through the trees and stuff like that. And so instead I'm going to draw a cloud being pushed by the wisp of wind. So that is kind of bringing in the much needed rain that we've been trying to bring about for a while. I'm gonna draw a very poorly drawn cloud. And some little raindrops. So there is now rain being pushed in.
Excellent. I love it. Okay. Over to Cyberella
Okay.
to draw and go.
Let's see what we got. We've got. Oh wait, come on, card. There we go. A group of humans arrive, wounded and scared. They seek shelter and belonging. How are they greeted? Or a single human arrives looking to reclaim something lost during the occupation. How are they greeted? I'm gonna go with the second half. That book. It's about time to bring that book into the thing.
Ah, Chekhov's book.
Yeah, Chekhov's book. We introduced it in first act. About time we get a payoff. So yeah, I think a single human arrives. It's gonna be just a very scraggly looking young woman. In like, I'd say her vocation is along the lines of like a ranger. Um, and she's got like a panther with her as a companion, and so she shows up.
Nice.
And I think initially, depending on the monsters, I'm gonna go off of saying that Kit is going to be not very happy to see this person and meet them with growling. In particular, because they also have a animal companion with them. So I mean, I got a big old flamey dog or flamey dog. Like it seems like that's Kit's job is to try to ward this person off.
Yeah.
So yeah, I guess how did other monsters react?
How are they greeted?
I think I want to say Ogla would take Breg and Faye and scurry over to where the Rem family is, and basically hide her children from the human.
Oh. Yeah.
Actually, a good question is the goblins know how to speak human?
I think so. I think they would have learned from their time spent with the humans during the occupation. They would have learned some, but I think Ogla would be hesitant to say anything to this ranger.
Yeah.
I think the only ones that can
because
speak. Oh, sorry. I was gonna say. I think the only ones that could actually speak to this ranger would be either the goblins or the Cherrick, the badgers. I think are the only other ones that can speak.
Yeah. And I think the badgers are just going to are going to hide underground when she shows up. I think Otar is just going to wall themselves off in the church. You think you can come in? No.
Stonewall.
Literally.
I think if Ogla is going to be going behind Rem, I think the big Rem stands in front, and the little ones kind of like make a little perimeter around the little family. And I think in this one moment, Rem is going to use the fact that he's wearing a top hat, and then the one that has the little wizard hat, they're going to like brandish that as like we're reclaiming this kind of thing.
Nice.
Kind of just stand their ground a little bit.
It seems like we're all very guarded, but none of us want to interact. So I think in order to push this kind of forward, I think the one that's going to actually come forward and have a conversation is going to be Toshi the cat. Being that Toshi is the leader of the cat country, but to speak to the panther, who could also speak feline. So I think Toshi's the one that comes forward.
Yeah. Yeah, and we don't have to go into great detail about exactly what happens necessarily, because we pretty much answered the question, I think, how they're greeted initially.
Yeah, I think the question is whether they get the book.
Oh, yeah.
And I think
Well,
they're Toshi.
we don't know yet. They're just here.
Okay, if we don't want to resolve it then.
Yeah, we don't have to. Because that's the thing, is they become part of the narrative, so they are... I'm
just going to draw them on the outskirts then.
The answer is they seek shelter and belonging. how are they? And so we've sort of said how they're good. I guess we can kind of decide if we.
No, not the
No,
secret.
you're right. You're
It's
right.
the second
So
half.
you're right. It's clearly claims something. Yeah. So I guess I guess we could answer if we let them take the book. That's I guess the
Yeah,
question.
I think because I think the cat will talk to like the panther will talk to Toshi, and Toshi will be like, "Oh, okay, whatever. They're not using it. It's over there in the corner," and like, you know, we'll guide the panther over, and the panther just retrieves it and brings it back, and then they leave.
Yeah, that's cool. Yeah. Um. So yeah, how do you want to draw that?
I will draw a ranger and a cat, like just leaving off the map. So I'll draw them and I'll add them to it, so you guys can continue. Oh yeah, I gotta do an action. My action's going to be.
See, these are ticking down.
Let's start a project.
Mm-hmm.
The project that I want to start is now that we've had a human show up. I think we're going to be a little bit wary. And so I kind of feel like we need some more like kind of more defenses kind of thing or something to fall back to. But I think we're going defenses. I think what I'm going to do is our little tiny Rem, our adorable little wizard Rem, I think is going to now that Audra exists, I think they're going to delve more into magic together. And at least come up with at least a defensive spell. I think the spell is going to be along the lines of like using the weather thing to like blow people away. Gust of wind, basically. And I kind of feel like that's a 4-week thing.
That sounds reasonable. Yeah.
Okay.
Speaking of projects, we've had we had a project complete.
Yep.
So how does that finish?
I think the way it finishes is basically. I hope it's the same color. I'm actually colorblind, so hopefully, I think it basically just looks like a big meeting house with a stone roof and stone walls that uh, Otar built using the rubble. Uh, and then on the interior, in the interior, they would have built stone benches and then a podium and a stage up at the front.
Yeah.
Where they can basically have town council meetings or community council meetings.
Cool. Yeah. It doesn't have to be the same color. That's not a problem.
Okay.
That's absolutely fine. And I also have to say I just saw the little wand. It's so adorable. I love it. Cool. But I believe now we go over to and then you took your action, which we're still getting doing the sort of the ranger and the book and stuff in, but we go over to Rob to draw a card.
Okay. 9 of Autumn. A clutch of tiny monsters is discovered near the community. Always here but overlooked. Agree on something about them. Someone digs and discovers a very peculiar skeleton. What sort of creature might this have been? Are there others like it? Ooh, I'm going with the second one. Since the Sherrick are digging, they find a skeleton.
Cool.
I want to say it's going to be. Almost like a fossil. Like it's been there for a while. Probably some sort of like a sea creature or something from like a fish. the fossil of a fish, and I think there are
Interesting.
at least one or two of them. And that's because I'm imagining the lake used to be larger, but it kind of receded. So I will attempt to draw some fish at
Yeah.
some point, and then action is going to be.
Yeah. We have one project going, so that takes
Mhm.
down one.
I think after the arrival of the human, Ogla is going to, and with the Cherrick finding something, Ogla is going to basically offer to the Cherrick and others that we start to learn to let bygones be bygones. Thing we may have some resentment over things that have happened, but we need to work together if we're going to survive.
I'm sorry, what action are you taking? Is this, are we agreeing on something?
Basically, yeah, agree to let the hurts of the past, like what was proposed by her about changing the weather, the things that have caused some contempt in the community.
Uh,
She's saying we need to. Can we let these things go? Can we forgive each other so that we can move on and we'll continue to work together? We have little ones to protect. And she's looking at the Steves and the little Rems and her own Dragon Frey. Or Dragon Fae.
I'll go with the let's see. The Steves will glomp Ogla. They just appreciate being thought of. Steves.
I think the bigger Rem will kind of like nod an appreciation towards Ogla and especially like with all of the little ones around around, but will also just kind of eye Otar just to see Otar's reaction to this concept. Because obviously like Rem feels connected to a lot of the people, but there are people like what do the people that are the problem think about this sentiment?
I think that Otar, um, Otar will take a moment, just sort of like very seriously considering what is thought of, what has been said. Um, and I think Otar will roll back from the from where the church is, and just sort of again the hands come up, the stone hands come up, and they will sort of slowly roll their head forward, nodding. Just be like, Ugh.
Just reminding me of the grandmother from Rhapsody Kids Save Christmas.
Ah. I'm just thinking about those old little claymation shorts that they used to do with the gibberish speaking clay
Rankin-Bass.
creatures. I can't remember. Well, it was like they were like shorts on a kids program. I can't even remember anymore. But these two little claymation creatures, and you had the bigger one and the smaller one. You got anything? You got anything?
I think I know what you're talking about. I don't remember what it's called
Yeah,
either.
yeah.
I think it was made by the same studio that did like the California Raisins.
Oh my gosh. Huh. So I think he agrees.
We don't know for certain, but
Yeah,
it
yeah,
sounded
Yeah.
positive.
yeah.
Yeah, and so I think Ogla would lose one of her contempt.
Yeah.
So,
I think Otar will take it. Will take a contempt off. He'll take his contempt off.
Yeah. Kit loses his contempt for Oitar, but he'll keep it for the tree people. they're still problematic. It's there for the tree people.
I just love the idea that they're like, yes, we must be a good community, and then they look over where the tree people are, but not you.
I think personally for Kit, the reason why he's not a fan of the tree people is that he's gotten told off for trying to mark them. He got real angry.
Ah, yeah, that's a problem.
You want to be part of the community, you get marked. You let the dog thing mark you.
Oh, nice. Let me see. Where are we? 1, 2,
Oh, I need to
3.
put this.
Was that the fourth or the? Yeah.
I think that
I
was
think
4.
that was the fourth.
Like,
Okay. So, and that was Rob, yes? Yes. Okay.
yep,
And that's the end of
me.
your turn, yes?
Yep, that's the end of my turn.
Okay. All right. I am okay. I'm just looking at the clock. Do we want to just go ahead and go to winter, or do we want to go ahead and play out like the 1 or 2 more autumn cards before we go to winter?
I think I'm ready for winter.
You ready? All right.
Yeah,
Also,
I
I've
think
drawn
that'd
a
be
magical.
cool.
Also, I've drawn a picture of magical Rem, and it's really cute.
Uh, uh,
I'm so
I can't
excited.
wait. I can't wait. All right. So it's back around to my turn.
I don't
Winter,
think
remember?
I'll show up because of the. Yeah, there you go. Little magical
Ah,
Rem.
oh, that's so good. I love it so much. Oh my god. All right. So we remember winter is sudden death. Here we go. First winter card. So, 4 of winter. All the animals and the most attuned monsters are crying and won't stop. Agree on something about either the cause or cure for this situation. That's the first possibility. Or a great atrocity is revealed from the time of occupation. What is it? Who uncovers it? Oh, good lord, this one's rough.
Ooh. I
Ah,
mean, you've been digging a tunnel for a while, so like.
we
Oh,
have been digging a
advanced
tunnel for a
thing.
while,
The
and
only
we've
thing
already
is,
encountered some fish. Yeah, sorry.
if we want, we can bend the rules, and it never said that we weren't crying of happiness. So we
Oh,
could be
that's
like,
fair.
we all agreed. It's
Oh,
You got a
no.
great.
case. You got a case of just hysteria. It's just the that hysterical dancing that happened, right? The dancing plague, like
Oh
that.
yeah.
Yeah.
Not a good thing, but it's also not a bad thing.
The most attuned monsters are crying and won't stop. Hmm. About the cause or cure for the situation. I mean, yeah, we could do that. Um. However, my inner storyteller is doing terrible things right now. Um.
I was listening to you.
Also, I also just saw the ranger. I didn't comment on this when I saw the picture of the ranger and the panther. It's cool. I love it.
Yeah. I learned how to group stuff. You can group things together. So you can easily grab it.
Indeed. Hmm. Okay. Let me. I'm gonna do a quick review here. Okay. I think that I'm just going to check something. I'm going to be, yeah, actually, yeah. I think I can do this. Yeah, I think I can do this. All right. If you don't mind, I think I'm gonna do the second one, but it's going to be, we're not going to be clear on exactly what it is. That happened. But, and again, I'm not going to go into detail, but as they are burrowing through, I think we've already uncovered fish bones, and it's like, okay, there was a time when the lake was way out here. We don't know exactly what the deal is. But what they're going to find is a chamber underneath about halfway, and that chamber is going to have I'm going to do the cult thing. That chamber is going to have essentially it's going to have like an altar stone and signs that there have been sacrifices in this underground chamber, and sort of depictions of it's stuff that looks in some ways similar to the symbols on the arch, but the symbols are perverted in some way. They are, and other things added, and it's taken to a different level. That some kind of sacrificial rituals were done down here, probably of the humans while they were here, and it looks like they did something that involved things involving changing the weather beyond what, or they wanted to perhaps change the weather beyond what would be normal for weather magic. They maybe got in touch with something. We're not clear what. But they like this place not at all. There's an aura about it. Mild terror. And we've also just... Tales from the Table Studios just rated us. Hello! Greetings! Thank you very much for coming. We are playing The Deep Forest. We've just entered winter. This is a reimagining of the Quiet Year, but this is we're all playing creatures mythical creatures in a forest after a human occupation. This is part of Wild Week, where you can basically we are raising money for charities. We're raising money for Rewild and for the Palestinian Children's Relief Fund. For every $10 you donate, you get an entry to for giveaways to win prizes. So feel free to check that out. Thank you so much for coming. Very much appreciate it. And I love all these drawings you've been doing. It's great. And that's one of the prizes, by the way. You get commission work. So let's see. That's the card. I know. Let's see. Do we have any projects? We have the one. I feel like this is going to stall their project for a week. So I'm actually, if we're okay with it, I'm not going to advance the project die for this tunnel, because they're like, what the hell? But the are we done? Did we already take that one down, or is that by the archway?
I took down that one right now.
Okay,
So we got
cool,
1 week left of it.
Awesome.
And then Magical Rem will have a Gust of Wind spell.
Excellent. So now I must decide to either uncover something old, agree on something, or start a project. So much has already happened. Getting colder. It's winter. Yeah. Here's an idea. So, granted, it was done well. The canal was done well and not in a harmful way at all. But this means that with the winter season, that the ice sprites can now enter the community. And they are now found. They are now found frolicking. Actually, I don't want them to be humanoid. They're going to be more like snowflakes. In fact, I think actual snowflakes. But yes, ice sprites have shown up, and are now wreaking a little bit of havoc and freezing sections of this little artificial pond that's been created. And so that is my turn, and we go now to Lonnie.
All right. Okay. 5 of winter. One of you begins to manifest new human qualities. What are they? Or one of you begins to manifest new monstrous qualities. What are they? You know, I kind of like the idea that the fact that the cats were previously domesticated, but now they're around monsters a lot, they kind of start becoming more like us. I'm trying to think of what kind of quality. Oh, that's gonna be tough. I'm thinking too much about this. I know I am. Taking too much time.
What ability do you wish cats would have?
So the thing is, the first thing that just popped into my head isn't actually what I want. That isn't actually the answer to your question. But now I'm thinking they start being able to talk. That's the first thing that came into my head. I don't know. Anyone have any ideas? I'm okay with being
I mean, I'm always a little bit fond of the idea of cats getting like basically kind of like shapeshifter abilities, not to change themselves into other things, but rather to conform themselves to other things. You know, like cats can get into anything that their head can get into, except for to scream.
Cats are a liquid, basically.
Yeah, they become the shape of their container. So like that, they start getting like shape-shifting abilities.
Okay. Yeah, no, I like that. So the one thing that was kind of like the most similar to the human realm has kind of started going back into their natural, non-domesticated form, and starts being able to kind of shift shapes a little bit. So I think we start noticing that the cat just comes out of like the smallest little holes that we never would have expected, like out of the rubble of where the old chapel wall had collapsed, just like squeezing through the smallest little bits over there. So let's see.
You like see one of the cats like all of a sudden has little wings and is flying with Steve's. It's like, wait, what the hell?
At one point, we think we found a new type of monster, but then it turns out it was just the cat.
So she became a Tresson.
Absolutely fine.
One of
All
the
right.
cats.
I'm gonna can you draw wings on your cat? Because
Yeah.
the cat is just so good. I don't want to sit there and draw like crappy little wings on it.
Okay, I'll draw wings
Oh, that's
on
wonderful.
Thank you.
cat. Like, let me make them bigger so I can like.
Yeah.
No, it's stretched down.
Ah,
Oh
There we go.
no! There we go.
He's gotten
so,
huge.
so the projects are ticking down,
Okay.
and
Oh, Magical Rem now knows Gust of Wind.
Yay!
Yes. So we can have that
Oh.
counted for as well.
Yep, and I just
Tunnels are
moved the
almost
die.
finished.
Thank you.
Excellent. I also want to just mention that Enchanting Sorcery has just raided us. Welcome, welcome. We're playing the
Nice.
Deep Forest. We're actually getting close to the end now. We're in winter, and we have we are running a charity right now for Rewild as part of our on the Wild Side week, and also for a Palestinian Children's Relief Fund. And so every $10 you donate, you get an entry to win prizes. So feel free to click on the Tiltify, which I'll go ahead and I shall put this in chat once more, because you can never do that enough times. And feel free to check that out. And then you also get to take an action.
Yes. So I think now that Magical Rem has the ability to cast Gust of Wind, I think I want to try to start a project to you said there are ice sprites trying to freeze over the lake right now, right?
Yes, they seem to be. Yeah, they're not so directed about it, but yeah, that's starting to happen a little bit.
Okay. I think magical, oh my gosh, the little cloud around. I think Magical Rem is going to try to see if they can start a project to stall the ice sprites from being able to freeze the lake, kind of blow them away for a little while just so they have extra time. They just got the water nearby and now they can't be frozen yet. So, yeah, so I'll put a little die. Oh, I didn't do the right thing. I will bring a little die near the ice sprite. And I feel like that would be probably like a quick one, right? Like 1 or 2 weeks of just,
Oh yeah.
right? So
Just gotta chase them off. Like, stop it.
yeah, I
Yeah.
mean, like maybe there's like a decent amount of them, so like maybe it'll take a little bit of time, but just kind of shooing them away. So, okay, should I just keep it at 1?
Scamps.
I'm good. I'd be good with that.
Okay. All right, well, then that's my turn.
Nope, I think it's mine then. Alright.
Mhm.
Let's see. We get. Well, we draw. That's what we're doing. Let's just. Nope. Collecting too much stuff. Get out of here, Lion. Okay. Sorry. Winter 2. A headstrong monster decides to lead a raiding party to take resources from a nearby human settlement. One project fails due to lack of monsters working on it. Or, a headstrong monster insists that all members of the community be trained to fight off the humans. No project dice are reduced this week. I'm gonna go with the second option, because I don't think we're not that go-getterish, I don't think. And I think this is a kit thing. Yeah, I think Kit is going to insist that everybody start training. Be like, hey, we have that one ranger show up and everything like that, but what's to say more humans won't show up? You know, we're just starting to get this place really nice, so let's train.
Yeah.
Montage it. Is everyone with me?
I think the only one the only one I can think of that's going to take actual contempt at that is the cat, because it's like, you insist I do something? What?
How dare.
I will take a point of contempt with my rem unless somebody draws a little sword in one of the rem's hands. Then I'll be
You want me
okay.
to draw a little sword? I will draw a little sword in the rem. Okay.
Oh my gosh.
One of them has a wizard's magic wand, so no one needs to look like he's
He's trying
training
to
hard.
form a whole adventuring party out of the crab.
We're just gonna have all the rems
the
are just
crab
gonna
folk.
save our lives at some point collectively.
I may or may not have tried to Google search to see how fast that hermit crabs can reproduce. So I could just say like, oh, there's like 20 of them now. Did you guys not notice that?
Suddenly it's like, suddenly rems.
Rems everywhere.
All right, and then my action, I guess. Oh, sorry. Wait, no, Rob. Do you want to say something about that?
Oh, I think Ogla would be. I think Brig and Faye would be look at their mother, Ogla, and be a bit like, as if they were raising their eyebrows a bit unsure. But Ogla would basically pick up. Maybe she finds a stick buried in the dirt from when they were tearing down the fence around the garden, and she would brandish it like a club. And then her children would go and grab little sticks as well.
Okay.
And start
then,
practicing fighting each other, like the imaginary sword fighting that some kids do.
I love it.
There you go. Now it's got a sword. A little rem. Okay. I guess then for my action-y thing then, let's see. I will. I'm gonna uncover something old. Here. With all this training and stuff. We have the wall, right? And we have little, like, guard area. So I'm gonna say we finally looked into that. Like, we've been just ignoring it this whole time. And we finally look into it, and that's why we got that one little sword, basically. I'm gonna say that sword is actually a magical item. Bringing in D&D terms, I'm gonna say it's basically the equivalent of, like, a +1 magical sword. So we have a little artifact now.
Nice.
A +1 little toothpick sword, but yeah.
It's actually a dagger. It's a little dagger. It's a +1 dagger now. That a rem has. So
it's effectively a short sword for the little rem, though.
For a rem, so. Yeah, it's a little short sword. I just kind of love this thing. We're just arming all the rems.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just thinking about that shot of the crab with the knife.
Yeah. I was happy with my idea for the rem, but they got so much cuter than I could have ever imagined.
It ends up little tiny hermit crabs are just like the best apparently for this. Now I gotta draw a little stabby rem.
Yes. Also, if anyone's ever seen the meme where apparently if you just put anything in a chameleon's hand, it'll grab it. So there's a little picture of like a chameleon with like a fake little like tiny Lego sword, and it's just brandishing it like.
Yeah.
Yep.
Nice. And I guess that's is that your turn?
Yep.
Okay.
That's me. So I guess I think you finished both those projects done.
Well, no, that was it took down to. Well, no, we didn't do it. Remember, because the cards said
no project dice are reduced.
No projects reduced.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, my bad. Sorry. That's right. We're montaging this shit.
Oh yeah. Because going into battle or training for battle. So you get to draw a card.
Yep. Oh.
There it is.
Well.
Good thing we montaged the training, I guess.
Yep, good thing we're training.
Heroes arrived. The game is over. So during play, according to and I'll just read this last section here. During play, it's best to leave the heroes an elusive mystery, perhaps hinting at what they might be, but never directly answering. The game ends abruptly when the King of Spades is drawn. The card is read aloud, and the game immediately concludes. Once the game is over, it is fine to talk about what the heroes might have been, what their arrival might have meant for the community, or any of the other situations that were faced throughout the year. With the game over, the limits placed on communication and discussion are suddenly lifted. And that's the game. So alas, the projects will never finish. Or maybe they will. We don't know. We don't know what the heroes arriving means.
I mean, to be fair, with the heroes arriving, it may be good that the tree people are still around.
Yeah.
It might be.
Didn't actually get rid of them. And the ice sprays are still around too. Actually, that might. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
both these things may have actually saved our character.
We have most of the elements on our side right now.
Yeah.
We have fire. We have wind. We have ice, which is technically also water. We have moss. Do we have earth? I guess.
Yeah. We got the earth guy.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah,
all right. Well.
And now a flying cat.
Yes.
Flying cat.
Magical cats.
That's probably the most dangerous of the creatures at this point.
Mm-hmm.
The humans just see them and are like, I ain't even bother with that.
Yeah.
I'm out.
Awesome.
Not worth it.
Well, that's the game. Thank you all so very much.
Ooh.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. That was fun.
That was really great.
Awesome. Well, then there we are. Thank you all very much, everyone out there, for watching and donating. Looking up at the Tiltify, we are at 325. We've got $325 towards our $500 goal. So we're getting there. We're getting closer. So we're like those of us trying suddenly in our heads to do math. We're like 65% of the way at this point. Yeah, definitely. I continue to check that out. As the charity drive is still running, even when we're off the air, and your donations go to Rewild and PCRF. And for every $10 you donate, we enter you for a chance to win one of the prizes in our giveaway. And to donate, just click on the link in that you'll see there that's still there in the chat for the Tiltify. And there we are. Well, we're gonna go ahead and do our outros, I think. How are we feeling? Are we feeling okay?
Yeah. It is kind of weird having the game just end abruptly out of, like, you know, we could have been like, oh, but we could have done these 3 more things, but you know, we knew what we were getting into.
Always the way of it. Well, we're gonna go. I guess we'll go ahead and go around and do our outros. Feel free to tell folks where they can find you, and feel free to plug whatever you like and any final thoughts you had about this game. And we're going to go reverse order from the way we started. So we are starting with Rob.
Oh, okay. Hi again, everybody. I'm Rob, RPG theologian. I am actually a full-time doctoral student, who studies comparative religion and philosophy, and I'm working on environmental ethics. So I found this to be an exciting game to experience with these wonderful fellow players, because of my own work and the importance of allowing biodiversity to expand. And the fact that we're raising money for this was awesome. Where you can otherwise find me online is with the Black Dragon Roleplay channel. We're a very small channel. We do mostly variety streaming, computer games. We just wrapped up a D&D campaign, so we're on hiatus from that, but we're talking about doing some other stuff like that. That's typically Friday mornings around 7 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. And then typically Sunday mornings around the same time is when we play some of our computer games. But yeah, check all these other folks out on when they tell you where to find them.
thank you so much. It's awesome actually someone with that background actually coming into this because it's neat and I'm very very glad to have your thoughts on it. Thank you so much for playing, and we are now going to head over to Cyberella.
Hi, I'm Cyberella Draws, and you can find me on my Twitter / Blue Sky at Cyberella Draws, and on Tumblr I'm Soot Child because I'm inconsistent and didn't plan ahead in life. Anyhow, I did do some drawings for this, which I did kind of show off on camera, but you can find it on my art handles. I'm gonna put them up there, and there's also in the Discord for Lost Caravan. Other things that you can find me doing is that this week on Saturday, I'll be taking part in another game for the Charity Week Monster Care Squad with Sir Heck, and that should be fun. I'm going to play a character called Lululemon, and I may have chosen that name just because I'm silly and thought of activewear, really badly made activewear. Anyhow, yeah, so that you can find me on that. Other than that, I'm here on Last Caravans typically on Thursday for Delta Green. We took this week off for the charity week, but we'll be reconvening next week, where I will finally debut in season 3 because I missed the first episode as Maple, Agent Maple, beautiful lady. She's 83 years old, young, and a lesbian to boot. But yeah, there you go. That's me.
I love Maple so much. That's awesome. Thank you so much for playing and for this. It's just these drawings are gorgeous. They're just so gorgeous. Thank you so much for playing this. This was wonderful having you.
Well, thank you for having me. Also, this flower is being annoying.
Oh, and it's adorable flower crown. Finally, over to Lonnie.
All right. Hi. I am Lonnie or Looney Shaz, and this was an absolute blast. I don't think I've ever actually played a game that's like this kind of style of like building everything as you go. So I had a lot of fun, especially playing with all of you. If you want to see more things that I am in, you're in luck because tomorrow I am also in a game. So 2 days in a row of me during Charity Week. You can see me tomorrow playing a rat named Feta Greta. And she's going to be riding a motorcycle called the Grater. So that's going to be a whole lot of fun. The crew seems really great. We're all, most of them are playing mice. I'm playing a rat because I'm different. I'm unique. Okay. And then after that, you can find me on March 11th. Not being unique, we're doing Oops All Mobsters for a Call of Cthulhu one shot. So all of us are going to be mobsters, which is going to be so much fun. I'm just waiting for everyone to be like, okay, like we have to do a library search. Can we just go shoot the things now? Thanks. So I'm so excited for that. You have no idea. I've been talking about this for weeks. And then I am also alongside with Cyberella, I am also in Delta Green on Thursdays. And I'm very excited. I just love that group so much. There's nothing else I can really say that sums it up better. So but yeah, that's me. And thank you, Other Doc, for running this. This was incredible.
Oh, thank you. That's I just cannot reiterate for folks how good the Delta Green game is. Please go watch it. It was so neat getting to see Agent Abandon, my fellow ACEL member, getting to go through there and yes,
always an ACEL member at heart. But they changed my name and everything. They changed my name. I can't even.
It's all right. It'll be okay. No, it's okay. Dr. Absinthe understands. He has too much to worry about in his own head. But also, it's just a joy it's a joy getting to play with you. I'm just going to just say that just as a flat statement because it was wonderful having you here. Thank you so much. And as for me, who am I? Great question. I'm Jim. I am Other Doc on Twitch and in the various places online, anywhere I'm not OtherDoc. I'm Jim, yes, that Jim. My Twitch channel is twitch.tv/OtherDoc. And things I'm doing there, I do tabletop RPGs there and some video gaming. And this week on Thursday, as it turns out, this is something that's been planned actually for a while, but we finally got around to it. We're going to be doing a short campaign of Blades in the Dark. I've never actually gotten to play it before. And so we finally the stars aligned. It was like, oh, we're going to be doing that. So I'm going to be doing that, which I'm very excited for. My friend Brian's going to be running that. And then on Sunday afternoons, I run a game of Alas for the Awful Sea reskinned for Gothic sci-fi. It's in space, and I call it Alas for the Angry Void. We've had folks show up at the space colony, and they are already causing all manner of trouble. And so just looking forward to seeing how things unfold there. It's a lot of fun. And I'll be doing other things I do. I have one-shots come out from time to time, and things of that nature will be occurring. But I thank you all very much for the opportunity to sit here and host this game. This is one of my favorite indie games. I really love it. And I'm so glad I got to bring it to you folks. Overall, again, if you like what you see on this channel, you can join the Lost Caravan Discord. There's a link down below here on the Twitch site. That's where they post, and the Discord is where they post monthly casting calls and the game schedule, and it's where we hang out, act generally weird, and shout about goblins, giant robots, imaginary marine life, and basically anything else that happens to strike our fancy. When we hit the end card, we're going to be raiding Perception Studio. They are right now doing, they're playing a tabletop RPG that they're calling Gods, Gladiators, and Gorgons. So that sounds fascinating. You can check that out. And remember, on the Wild Side Week continues tomorrow evening with Heavy Metal Thunder Mouse, GM'd by Sam. Please be there because that sounds freaking awesome. In the meantime, folks, take care, and we'll see you all of a sudden. Farewell.